We should be live now on YouTube. Let's get the TikTok live going as well. Hold on. Let's do this, and then let's try that. Okay. Okay. Oh wow, already a guest request. Is this gonna be a real person, or? Hey, how old are you?
I'm 18.
And you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay. Do you disagree with any of the prompts on the screen right now?
Do I disagree with the prompt?
Yeah, there's 4 prompts on the screen. Can you see them?
Yes.
Okay. You disagree
Yes,
with any of
I
them?
disagree with. He's not corrupt. No.
He's not corrupt.
No.
Why do you think he's not corrupt?
Donald Trump. He's good with his. He's fiscally responsible.
Well, corruption is different, right? I'm talking about him personally benefiting from the office of the presidency in terms of like financial gain. He's corrupt, right? He uses
No.
government power to enrich himself.
No.
Yes.
Not true.
Very true. I can give
How
you
is that? How could that
examples.
even be possible for a president?
By launching things like Trump Coin, by making multi-billion-dollar deals with foreign governments and family businesses. I mean,
He can't take my Kohl's cash.
Oh, so you're trolling.
No.
Do you actually support Trump?
Yes.
Do you vote for him?
Did I vote for him? What kind of question is that?
I'm questioning whether you're actually a real Trump supporter.
Yeah, I voted for him
Why?
because he said he was gonna make America great again.
And he lied. He lied to you.
How did he lie?
He's not made America. He made America much worse.
You gotta give him a chance. It's been 1 year.
And he's
He hasn't-
already fucked it up this bad in 1 year.
Give him a chance.
Why? I gave him a chance. He had a first
He
term.
has
That was his
3 more
chance.
years.
He already
He
had a
has 3
first
more
chance.
years. No, he didn't. No, that didn't count.
That
wasn't
didn't
the
count
same.
when he did a coup. That didn't count.
No, he didn't do a coup.
He attempted a coup. He failed.
What is a
thankfully.
coup?
Like trying to illegally stay in power after losing power.
When did he never did that.
January 6th, fake elector scheme.
January 6th? That was not him. That was other people doing it.
That
He
was
did
not
not. He
him?
wasn't there.
What was the fake elector scheme then?
They were fake. Donald Trump, you have to give him a chance. You have to give him a chance.
Such
He
a
only
bad
got
troll,
one.
bro.
He has 1 year, bro. He got 1 year, bro. He got 2025 down, right?
Do we have any actual Trump supporters out there? Anyone? Someone out there? This is why I have this thing up saying MAGA is finished. Trump supporters are in hiding, unable to defend him. There's no one left. There's trolls. There's like little kids who just want to scream on the live or say the N-word. There's no actual normal, serious people left who support Trump, which was the case before the election, I think. Opinion on Prime Deontay Wilder? He was good. He hit really hard. His approval is, I mean, the average is in the low 40s, high 30s, which is, it took Biden a while to get to that level. Trump really is speed running, destroying the U.S. government, tanking his approval rating, speed running corruption, speed running covering for PDF files. It's a little bit unreal how bad this presidency has been, and the fact that there's no one left willing to defend it, I think speaks to how bad it is, right? You're going to see people in the chat today that are saying like, oh yeah, MAGA 2028, Trump is the best, but they're never in the guest request, which makes you question, are these even real people or are these just bots from Russian and Chinese bot farms? You have to wonder. Hey, how old are you?
Yo, I'm 19.
And you support Trump?
No, I actually just wanted to come up here. You're like low-key my favorite content creator.
Oh, thank you.
You're so well-spoken, and I wish I could be like as well-spoken as you, especially in like debate settings. Especially like if I go up on a TikTok live, I swear I just get like so nervous. Just like
Yeah, it's
I don't
one of
know,
those
especially in
things
front of
where
some of the
if you
bigger
just keep
peoples, bro.
practicing at it, eventually, like, the nerves you'll get used to them. But I
Yeah,
appreciate you
yeah.
for watching.
Yeah. I've just actually left the U.S. for university, but I used to live in the U.S. But
Nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Sure, cool. Well, thank you again for watching.
bro.
I appreciate you for hopping on. Trump was the first president to lose his own money, not like every politician who made their wealth. That's not true. Trump has almost doubled his net worth in his second term. Him and his family business have profited to the tune of tens of millions, and in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars. Through cryptocurrency, through foreign deal making, through contracting with companies that are friendly with people in the administration or people that are directly related to Trump. So, again, as I was saying, the only people that quote-unquote support Trump now are the people that are in the chat who are not actually people. They're like bot accounts from Russia and China that are working overtime now because there's no real people left supporting Trump. There's no one left. That's why you see anytime you hop on any debate live, whether it's mine or Parker's or Dean's or Santana's, anyone else's, you see so many more people in the chat saying, yes, I love Trump. And then there's like 1/5 of that number actually in the guest requests. Why do you think that is? It's because those people are not even real. There's no one left. Hey, how old are you?
32.
And you support Trump?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see the prompts on the screen right now?
Yes.
Do you disagree with any of them?
No, I think Trump's for the people.
So you do disagree with them?
Yeah.
Okay, which one did you want to talk about? Take your pick.
Mass deportations.
Okay, you don't think that they're dangerous, inhumane, and wasteful?
No, they're not. I mean, we got to get people. Got to come in the country the right way.
Right, then
There's
why
a right way
exactly.
to come in the country.
Exactly. People should come to the country the right way, and therefore Trump's mass deportations are bad because they're deporting people who try to come in the right way.
No, ICE is doing their job, man.
No, ICE is going to immigration courts and harassing people who are following all the rules.
They're not harassing people, man. They're doing their job. Without them, who do we have to protect our
It's
borders?
ICE's job to, I mean, maybe you're right. It's like you're saying it's ICE's job to beat up innocent families and rip people away from their loved ones and send
They're
them out
not
without any
beating
due
up innocent
process.
people. That's being fucking dramatic. Come
Nope,
on, bro.
there's you didn't see the video of the asylum seeker family where the mother was crying and the guy
probably
shoves
one
her to the
video.
ground? Yeah,
That's
but
like
then,
one video,
but
man.
then ICE covers for all these videos, right? They say, "Oh, this person is justified." It's a systemic
I mean,
rot. It's systemic
you
abuse.
realize we're winning, right? We're coming back from Joe Biden's inflation, right?
You're not winning, and no,
We're
you're,
winning.
you're
Yeah,
not
we're
coming
winning. Cheaper
back from-
gas prices.
not
We're
coming
shutting
back.
the border down. Cheaper gas prices. You're shutting the border down. That's a good thing.
Trump did not lower gas prices. That's not how gas prices work. And when you talk about
Yeah, He's drilling
when you talk
more
about the
oil,
border
bringing the
being
gas prices down.
when you talk about the border being shut down, that began in summer of 2024 under Joe Biden.
That's not true. Joe
That is
Biden
true.
let in like 10 million people across the
That
border.
is true. You can look back at the stats. Summer of 2024 is when the decline started, continued into Trump's second term.
Joe Biden let in 10 million people.
Nope, there's a total in this country of maybe 11 million undocumented people, 11 to 14 total.
I just think y'all are mad y'all lost, man.
I just think you have no facts on your side. You're just all about vibes and being butthurt towards the left, and you have no actual arguments, which is why you're saying Biden let in 10 million people, which is not true.
Yeah, it's true. Look it up.
It's not true. The total number of undocumented people in this country is 11 to 14 million. You're saying that pretty much all of them came in under Biden, and before Biden there was no one else who was undocumented in this country?
Not at the rate that
Okay, how many
Joe
undocumented
Biden did.
people
The
do you
rate,
think...
goddamn, fucking 10 million people
How many
coming across the border.
Not true. How many undocumented people do you think were in the country before Biden was president?
I'm obviously not going to have that number. I don't.
Because
I'm
you
not
don't
sure.
know what the fuck you're talking about, which is why you don't have that number, right?
Adam, look, I haven't
Which
disrespected you,
explains
so,
why you
so Adam,
support
just
Trump.
don't. Adam, you don't gotta cuss at me, boy.
I'm going to though, because you're like you have such strong opinions, but you don't know what
No,
you're
you're
talking
just
about.
you're just a boy, man. That's all you are, bro. Just a boy.
And you're just a dumbass. Do you have any arguments in favor of Trump other than vibes?
We're winning, bro.
You're not winning.
We're winning.
Trump's approval rating is like historically low. He's in the 30s. Get your man, dude. No one likes him anymore. The Republicans are losing left, right, and center every special election.
Hey, hold on,
Every
man.
special election, every off-year election, you guys are getting crushed. Your approval rating is crashing. You're suppressing people's free speech,
Just let me-
their
let's-
civil
look,
liberties.
Look, just let me talk, boy. Okay.
If you have something of value to say, I'll let you talk. Which you probably don't.
Why did he win then?
Because he lied. He ran a very dishonest campaign where he said 10 different things to 2 different people, right? He'd go on one podcast and say, we're only going after the criminals. He'd go on another podcast and say, we're going after everyone. If you tell everyone exactly what they want to hear and you have no actual policy platform, people are going to vote for you. But look what happened. When Trump came into office, his approval rating was like around 49, 50%. Where is it now? Around 40%, 37%. It's because when people actually saw Trump govern, they realized this is gross. I don't like this. This is un-American. This guy is an idiot. He's incompetent, and he's an authoritarian who does not know what he's doing. He's wasting taxpayer money, and we're watching his brain melt and spill out of his ears in real time. If you were concerned about Joe Biden's cognitive decline, you should be a million times more concerned about Donald Trump, who is falling asleep in meetings and can't even pronounce words properly. How about that cognitive decline?
Bro, Joe Biden can't even walk up a set of stairs, man.
Neither can Trump. Trump can't even walk in a straight line. How about that? Trump can't even walk in a straight line.
This is why y'all lost, man.
You have
this TDS. Is why we won,
you have TDS. You have Trump devotion syndrome. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it's all good, bro. We won. Y'all lost. You know that?
Have you seen any of the elections that have taken place since Trump won? Republicans are getting whooped because no one likes you guys. Special elections, off-year elections.
That doesn't matter. We won the presidential election last year.
Virginia, New Jersey, New York City, every Republicans are getting crushed.
Kamala Harris fucked her way to the top. Why would we want a president?
Not true.
Why would we want
and if you want to talk about sexual misconduct, it's probably not a great thing to bring up as a Trump supporter. How do you feel about the Epstein files?
Dude, she fucked her way to the top.
You're concerned with who people are fucking. You should be really mad about the Epstein files, right?
She had like a 70-year-old boyfriend. Come on,
and
bro.
Trump had a 14-year-old girlfriend allegedly, right? So what are you doing?
Show me. You gotta show me something.
Okay, what about when he went on Howard Stern and said he would go behind the scenes at beauty pageants and walk into little girls' changing rooms? What about all of the mentions of him in the Epstein files?
I didn't see him say that.
What about the fact that the FBI has had to be paid $1 million in overtime just because they're spending so much time redacting Trump's name from the Epstein files? You're concerned about lies about Kamala Harris. You want to come here and lie about Kamala Harris. She fucked this person. She fucked that person. You want to talk about who presidential candidates are fucking? What about Donald Trump, who has cheated on all his wives and sexually harassed other people?
Well, yeah, mistakes happen. I mean,
so when Trump engages in sexual misconduct, it's just a mistake. And when Kamala Harris doesn't do anything wrong, then you're going to make up fake things that never actually took place. I get it.
No, she did fuck her way to the top. How do you think she got to where she's at?
So when she got elected, did she fuck everyone who voted for her? Is that how that worked? How'd she get elected? In California?
I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about with their boyfriends and to get up to the vice president.
Again, you don't know what you're talking about.
She was on her knees, bro.
If she got votes, how does that work?
She couldn't be our president. She couldn't be our president, bro.
She'd be a million times better president than Donald Trump, who's a fucking
That's not true.
It is true, and you don't know what you're talking about, because give me Kamala Harris.
She supported.
Tell me which Trump policies were better than Kamala's policies.
And shit, and transgender shit.
She supported gay people. That's not even a policy. You're just saying she wasn't an asshole, which I think is good.
And transgender and all that stupid ass
policy.
Fucking gay ass shit.
You can just say a noun and you can be mad. See, you're crying. This is all Republicans are. They're mad that gay people exist. They're mad that trans people exist, and they love that Trump is an asshole and he acts like a little fucking toddler because none of you have the emotional maturity past like 7th grade.
Adam, he's blunt.
No,
he keeps it real, right?
He's a dumbass. He's stupid.
He's blunt. He keeps it real.
He's stupid. His vocabulary stopped growing after the 7th grade.
I'm cooking you right now.
No, you're crashing out. Your entire argument is, I don't like gay people. I don't like trans people. That's your only argument. You're crying. You're a crybaby, which is what Donald Trump is as well. He's still crying about the 2020 election. All you guys do is bitch and moan and cry. Then you win an election off of bitching and moaning and crying. And then what happens? You can't even govern. You're a pathetic joke. You're a cult. This man is incompetent. And he's an authoritarian. He shuts people down whose speech he doesn't like. He violates our constitutional freedoms. He has no idea how to manage the economy. Other world governments are laughing at us. And the entire time, his family is profiting to the tune of billions of dollars.
Oh, so everything's so bad, and the gas prices are like $2.30. That's what I'm paying.
Presidents don't control gas prices. I don't know if you know this.
Everything's so bad.
There's not a button the president can just push.
You're just mad, bro. That's all.
It seems like you're mad. Your
entire
argument...
You're just mad that you lost, bro. You lost. You won.
No, I think if you look at what's happened since Trump won, everyone regrets voting for him.
I don't regret my vote, man. He's the greatest president
ever. You're one of the few dumbasses
time.
left who are probably part of a cult, but most people who voted for Trump regret it.
Okay, boy. Whatever.
See, you have nothing to say. You say, "Okay, boy," and then you say, "What about the gays?" But you have nothing. You're empty.
That's what you are, bro. You're just a boy.
If
You
I
don't
was
know what a man
if I was
is.
to knock on your skull, we'd hear a fucking echo because there's nothing in there. It's empty.
Oh man, this is
Your
why I
entire
lost, bro.
your entire worldview comes from you don't like gay people, you don't like trans people, and what about Comrade Kamabla had sex with one person one time who she's a consensual adult engaging in a consensual relationship, has nothing to do with people actually electing her in an election. So
She fucked her way to the top, man. I mean, that shows
you have
your
to show me
character,
that
right?
when she won elections with votes, did she fuck
I
everyone
mean,
who
I have
voted
to
for
look.
her?
I have to look. See, I have to look that up.
Yeah,
show
because
you, man.
because you don't know what you're talking about.
But I mean,
You're just
I heard
weak.
it. I heard it happen.
Exactly. You
I
just
heard it happen,
you just
right?
heard it from some other right-wing dumbass, and you didn't fact check it. You're like, that's all I need to know. Kamala fucked her way to the top. She's pro-gay, she's pro-trans, and Trump is super cool. Like, that's your entire worldview. It's immature and it's pathetic and it's stupid and it's destroying this country that people like you exist.
We're just gonna keep winning, man. I mean, y'all are,
Keep
come
winning.
2028, we're gonna
Keep
get Trump
winning.
a third term.
Things are getting more
gonna give
expensive.
Trump a third term, right?
Guys, aren't we winning so hard when prices are going up and other countries are laughing at us and people are having their constitutional rights violated and our economy is going to shit? Isn't that
It
so
feels like,
winning? Oh
it
my
feels
goodness.
It feels like
winning.
it feels like to me that
Winning.
we're winning. That's
If,
what I feel
I'm
like.
sure it feels like you're winning because you clearly don't have any information on what's going on. You're just hearing from other right-wing people that Trump is super based. It's un-American. It's
Yeah.
gross, and the fact that you are
I'm
sitting
cooking-
here
I'm cooking you,
complaining
bro.
about you're complaining about Kamala Harris's sex life, and you're not talking about Donald Trump's sexual assault allegations, which is interesting. To me.
Adam, I'm cooking you, boy. I'm cooking you, bro.
Word of advice: usually, when you're cooking someone, you don't have to pat yourself on the back and say, "I'm cooking you right now." That makes it look like you're losing, and you know you're losing, so you're self-soothing. It's embarrassing.
Bro,
You
that's
have
just
not
funny,
put forward
man.
a single argument, and I'm starting to feel embarrassed for you. But then I realize you're actually just a dumbass and a bad person. So should I feel bad for you?
That's all right, man. Like I said, at the end of the day, we won. Y'all lost.
Did you forget 2020? Did you forget what happened after 2024? Whenever Trump
That was
gets
a stolen
power,
election.
whenever
That
y'all
election
win,
was stolen.
whenever y'all win something, you fumble it so bad that no one likes you anymore, right?
The election was stolen.
2020. So you're also a crybaby like Trump, or you think 2020 was stolen, huh? Anything else you have for us today?
Yeah, I just
Okay. Hey, how old are you?
26.
And you support Trump?
I don't, but I do want to say something to Dave. Any Trump supporters that are in here, ask them about Lake Michigan.
Like Michigan? I mean, yeah, I doubt he even knows what that is. He doesn't know anything about the Epstein files.
No, any of them. Any of them.
Yeah, I will. I have a whole.
Genuinely.
There's a whole list of things you could ask him about. But thanks for hopping on. Thanks for the suggestion. Do we have any more debate requests? We have you mute you lose 1776. Seems like a Trump supporter. If you guys are enjoying the live, make sure you double tap on the screen following up above. I am also live right now on YouTube as well. Hey, how old are you?
I'm 31.
And you support Trump?
Yes.
And you see the prompt on the screen right now?
Yeah.
Which one did you want to debate? It's up to you.
The mass deportations, because it's just they're not wasteful.
They
I mean,
are.
they're not inhumane.
They are.
And the only dangerous thing about them is the fact that ICE agents are being attacked.
No, the American public is less safe because of the mass deportations.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely, yes.
So just real quick to just disprove you on that point.
You didn't even hear my
This
point.
year, okay, no, you just made a statement. I'm going to
You didn't let me
disprove
give
it.
any
You
evidence
just said
backing
Americans
up the
aren't
statement.
safer.
I have
with
evidence for that
deportations.
claim. You don't want to hear the evidence?
I have evidence to counter that. Very
Please.
strong evidence.
Please.
Okay, so this year we're about to see the biggest drop in violent crime rate in U.S. history.
Okay.
Did you know that?
That-
We're on track for that?
That's been happening year after year since COVID ended.
This
what are you talking
year
about?
is the biggest drop in violent crime rate in U.S. history.
Okay, so are you cheering for all the mayors of all the
If you're
cities?
sitting here and your statement was that mass deportations,
There's no way
mass
you think the
deportations are
president
dangerous, why
controls
is
local-
society less dangerous?
There's no way you think the president controls local law enforcement, do you?
Are you kidding me?
Do you actually think that Trump is in charge of all
When
the
you're
police
actually
departments
sitting
out there?
okay, oh man, first Trump is sitting here sending in the National Guard trying to
No, he's
enforce
not.
laws that shouldn't be enforced. That's what you guys are always claiming.
Supreme Court smacked him down because it was illegal.
The Supreme Court said that he has to use what was it, regular forces before the National Guard.
Yeah, and they said he would have to have statutory authority to invoke the regular forces, which he knows he doesn't have, and he hasn't invoked it.
Which means that he can do it. He would have to use regular forces.
He could do it in a different situation. Now I'm going to actually explain to you.
You're just going to talk over.
No, because you
people.
never let me actually make the argument as to why deportations are
No, you
dangerous.
just made a statement. I'm trying to talk about
No,
it.
but I want to give evidence for my statement.
It.
I said Trump's deportations are dangerous. Now I'm going to explain why before you just change
when
the topic.
I just said violent crime rate has dropped in this country
in a debate, I'm going to address what you just said. So you made your claim. Now I'm going to respond to your
You're just
claim.
not an honest person.
I'm not
You're
muting
just-
you.
you're exactly
I'd like
what
to
is
have
wrong
a
with this
fair
country.
back and forth.
And this is
you
exactly
made an
why
argument,
the Democrat
and
voter
now you're
registration has
crying.
lost
Now
over
you're crying.
4.5 million people.
Notice
and
how
they
he doesn't
switched
want me
to
to
the Republican
respond.
side.
He's scared of
How
me
many-
responding.
The voter,
is scared
the
of
Democrat
me
voter
responding.
registration is a failure.
He's
because
changing
of
the
people
topic
like you.
because he's scared of me
I'm
responding.
just giving you a point. Just giving you a point.
Let me know when I can respond to the point you made. Or
Is
you're just
the
here to give a
Democrat
speech.
voter registration at a surplus right now?
Oh, now you're changing the topic.
Is it? I'm just asking you.
You're
Is
changing
it?
the topic because you don't
Is
want me
it?
to respond.
I just know. Is it? Yes
You're
or no?
changing the topic.
Is it? Why are
You're
you so scared to
changing
answer it?
the topic.
Why are you so scared to answer
You're
it?
so scared of staying on topic. You're
No,
running.
why are you so scared of answering
You're
it?
running to other topics.
Because this is what's problem. This is what you guys.
Did everyone notice how he made an argument about how
This is why you
deportations
guys
are
are
really
gonna
good,
lose.
and he doesn't want me to
This is
respond?
why you guys are going to lose.
He's scared.
And the fact
He's
is,
not
the
going to
only
let
reason
me
why
respond until
Democrats
either I mute
want
him or kick him. He
the
doesn't want
only
me to
reason why
respond.
Democrats want
You're running.
mass migration
He's a runner.
is because
He's a
nobody
track
wants to
star.
vote for your guys' policies.
Thank
Nobody
you so much for
likes
the
you
galaxy,
guys.
Chelsea. Now, do you want to hear a response to your argument? Or you're
Have a good night there,
You're going to
Adam.
run away? Are you really going to run away? Wow. These people are actually terrified. Holy fuck. It's getting bad. It's getting really bad. There's no one left. MAGA is finished. These people are terrified of you actually responding to an argument. Guess what? When violent crime is down, you know who gets the credit for that, right? Governors and mayors. These people don't understand separation of powers, which explains a lot why they're such fans of authoritarianism, right? They don't understand that we have the federal government and the state government and the local government. They also don't understand that we have a judicial branch and a legislative branch and an executive branch. He thinks that if crime is down, that that's because of Trump. No, crime has been going down. Last year, we had all the same headlines. Crime hits historic lows in Baltimore, in Chicago, in Los Angeles. All the same cities that Trump called hellscapes, where we need to send the National Guard. They've been seeing a precipitous decline in violent crime under blue leadership. Now, why would I argue that Trump's mass deportations make us less safe? Maybe the fact that they're defunding the FBI. Did anyone know this? The big, beautiful bill? They're defunding the FBI. They're defunding like anti-terrorism, anti-trafficking task forces. So all of these people that cried about defunding the police, they're actually defunding federal police that go after traffickers and terrorists. And where are they putting all that money? Into ICE. And is ICE going after dangerous criminals? No. They're going to immigration courts and they're harassing documented asylum seekers. So safe, guys. Yeah. Hey, Aldi.
Hello. I'm 18.
You support Trump?
No, but one of the prompts that I saw that Democrats are good for the economy and
better
stuff
for
like
the
that.
economy.
Yeah, better for the economy. I just basically Republicans, the way that they do things is they make tax breaks for the rich and they keep the rich in power. The Democrats, they feed off of minorities that have been plagued with
What?
drugs and stuff like that, like in their areas,
They
such
feed
as
off
like
of them?
yeah, by keeping them on welfare and stuff like that. They keep the
They
areas.
forced them to take welfare. What are you saying right now?
So basically,
You're
they're-
anti-welfare.
I'm anti keeping the rich in power, basically.
Right, so shouldn't we raise taxes on the wealthy and then redistribute that through social programs?
Absolutely, we should.
That's what Democrats do.
But they also feed on the poor as well, such as
I don't know what that means.
So let me just provide an example. All right. So there were a bunch of communities that were like very low income and stuff like that that were being plagued with drugs, and that was CIA operations.
Oh,
Literally,
that's the CIA
like-
isn't
like-
the Democratic Party. I'm talking about Democrats in
No.
the House and Senate right now. The legislation they propose on
wait.
economics is much better than Republican legislation. I'm against
It
CIA
it ties
intervention
into it.
in communities.
Okay, just one sec. Basically, the CIA, they went ahead and they planted crack into low
I'm
income
aware.
communities.
And that's,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
And basically, welfare basically reaffirms people who are put into these terrible situations,
No.
and they allow them. I mean, I'm just. Can I finish, please?
It's just you're making 5 different points. We have to go one by one.
It's just Democrats are basically going ahead and they're feeding on the low income.
You're saying the
by
Democrats
keeping-
want to help take care of poor people, and that's bad.
No, I'm saying that they're keeping them there.
How?
Republicans, they keep the rich in power. The Democrats, they feed off of the poor.
You could that's a cute slogan to put on a bumper sticker somewhere, but again, the Affordable Care Act, Dodd-Frank, every single stride we made in terms of union power under the NLRB under Biden, the Inflation Reduction Act, the PACT Act, the Chips and Science Act, all the bills that are right now on the floor of the House or that have been drafted up by people that are Democrats. Broadly speaking, there's some outliers. Broadly speaking, national Democrats want to raise taxes on the wealthy and expand the social safety net. And Republicans want to cut taxes on the wealthy and gut the social safety net. Do you agree with that?
I agree that the Republican Party does that for the rich. Yeah.
And do you agree the Democratic Party wants to expand social safety nets?
It
Seems like you're saying they are, but that's a
they
bad
do
thing.
they do things for it, but it's still they still keep like the poor poor. They don't do much.
Would you
dude.
rather the poor not get anything like food stamps or anything like Medicaid? They should just be left in the streets?
I think they should be given more opportunities. I think minorities should be given
And do you
more
think
opportunities.
people have access to more opportunities when they have a roof over their head, when they have food in their stomach?
They absolutely do, but
So then
look at
aren't those welfare programs a good thing?
but the rates of people staying on welfare when Democrats are in party.
Why
Demo-
would you
like-
blame Democrats for that?
Because if you look at the welfare rate, like how many people stay on welfare while Republicans are in party, it's not a lot of people. But that's
Because
because they're cutting
Republicans
off.
gut
It's
welfare.
because they cut off benefits.
Yes.
I'm fully aware that
And
it's
that's
because
bad,
they cut
right?
off benefits. It is bad, but still.
But also keeping the
reaffirming-
benefits is bad?
reaffirming the lazy lifestyle that the CIA has kept them in, so that they can make
The
more money.
lazy
That's
lifestyle,
basically-
who's them?
What I'm saying is
Who's
minorities who have been plagued. Minorities who have been plagued.
So you're
in
saying
areas.
you're saying minorities are lazy and they shouldn't get social safety nets?
Minorities who have been plagued by the government are lazy.
So now
yes.
isn't it what does it mean to be plagued by the government, and why would you blame the minorities for that?
I'm not blaming the
So
minorities
then
for
why,
that. I'm
why
saying
would you use that as a justification for them to not get things like food stamps, regardless of what their race is?
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not
You're
saying that we
saying
should
that
cut off
Democrats keep
benefits.
people poor and lazy by letting them have welfare.
Yeah, by keeping them on welfare. Yes.
They don't force anyone to stay on welfare. What are you saying?
But you
Democrats are the same party that-
reaffirm a terrible lifestyle that people are in while a lot
That's
of
not.
them
You
use
can just. You're
welfare.
saying things and with a lot of confidence that are not true.
Well, that's okay, man. I guess I'm just speaking out of my ass. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
But all that I'm saying is,
Okay. Hey, how old are you?
I'm 33.
And do you support Trump?
Hell yeah, I do.
You see the 4 prompts on the screen right now?
Well, that's your problems. That's not my problems.
What?
Those are your problems,
Are
not
you
my
here to
problems.
debate or just?
Well, ask me a question.
You can pick one of these prompts you disagree with, and we can debate it.
Well, everybody's corrupt. You're corrupt.
I'm corrupt.
Everybody's corrupt. So,
Oh, so you don't have any actual arguments? You're just gonna say
none
random
the
shit.
Democrats, all on welfare.
You're just gonna say
You don't
random
have a real
shit.
job. Do you have a real job?
Who else has done a crypto
Let me ask you a
scam?
question. Let me ask you this.
Why
What
are
kind
you
of job do
changing
you
the
have?
topic?
Exactly
I
my
thought you were
point.
here to debate.
I'm asking you a question.
These are the topics
Do
on
you
the
have a job?
screen.
Yeah. How are Democrats good for the economy?
They are better for working class people by expanding
That's a lie.
access to healthcare. No, it's not. You can
That's
look
a
at,
lie.
You can look at the stats,
All
right?
the people in my
The-
county are on welfare, and they have better welfare. They have better health care
the
than people that
number
work.
of uninsured people
That
goes
is not
down
true.
when
It's not
Democrats
true.
are in office. It is
It's
true.
not true.
It is true.
The numbers are fixed, buddy.
It is true. Are you
It's like you don't have a
trolling?
road.
You're trolling or
Look,
rage baiting or
I'm
something?
not trolling.
It's not
You're just
working.
mad. You're just mad. That's why you're drinking water.
So true.
Yeah, out of a plastic bottle. So Democrat of you.
Any argument?
Isn't that bad for you? You're drinking out of a plastic bottle. Isn't that
This
bad
is
for
why
you?
I say MAGA is finished. The only people left are trolls.
How
I don't
is
even
he
think this guy's an
finished?
actual Trump supporter. I think he's just
Dude,
trolling.
I'm from here, my boy.
What?
Look at. You're an American. You're whitewashed.
What?
You're not. What are you? Indian? You're not even Indian. You're fake now. You're whitewashed. You're trying to play this liberal centered
This guy's just saying whatever pops into his
Democrat,
mind.
bro. You're the most racist, I bet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Look at you.
You need to work on
Racist.
your trolling. I feel like you made it too
Look,
obvious
what?
too
Because you're
soon.
racist? Because you live in a suburban area and you want to be a liberal?
What?
Come on, guy. I
How-
know damn well you
How
ain't from
old
no.
are you again?
I'm 33.
Ain't no way you're 33 acting
Oh,
like a
damn
12
right. Come over
acting
and-
like
ah,
a
work,
12-year-old.
bro.
You're 33,
You don't
bro.
even have a real job.
You're 33. I definitely
What
make
is
more
your
than you
job?
do.
I just got out of work. I get healthcare from my job that
I
I
get
work
paid
for.
to talk shit to people like you. It's like a dream job.
If you on welfare,
Are
you're
you
probably on
getting paid to
welfare.
be on
You're
here?
probably on welfare.
Huh?
You're probably on welfare.
Which welfare am I on?
You probably get free.
Free.
You probably got Section 8.
Oh yeah.
You probably got free schooling.
I thought you said I live in the suburbs though.
Bro.
What are the Section 8 suburbs?
You lying?
What?
Huh? Lying? Yeah, lying like the people from Annapolis.
Napolis?
Using fake money. You
What's
probably work for a
Napolis?
nonprofit, huh?
Can you tell me what are the Section 8
Minneapolis.
suburbs that I'm from?
You probably live off of it, and you probably act like you
Okay,
don't.
what are the Section 8 suburbs? I've never heard of this.
Because you claim to be probably a different race when you're not. You're American.
When did I claim to be a different race that I'm
I'm just
not?
saying you probably are.
Where
I'm
are you
just
getting
asking.
probably from? Just pulling out of your ass?
Because I'm just assuming because I'm
Because
probably
you're just
right.
assuming because you're a
I'm
dumbass.
probably right. I'm probably right. Just like you probably think that
Hold
I'm
on.
stupid, but I'm not.
Either you're trolling or are you
Yeah.
on something right now? Are you sober right now, sir?
Nah, dog. I'm sick, and I'm still talking, and
Wait,
I
are
went
you
to work.
sober right now?
But look at you, liberal.
Are you sober right now?
I'm sober, very sober. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, that was certainly... Is it too much to ask for to just find someone who wants to actually debate? Does that even
Hey.
exist anymore? Hey, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm 14. I just want to say the other dude sounded like a pedophile.
Hey, how old are you?
Epstein fuck Diddy.
Again, I said MAGA is finished, Trump supporters are in hiding, and they're unable to defend him. And that is what we prove every time we go live. Because even when I get a bunch of guest requests, there's no one in there who actually just wants to debate Trump's agenda or Trump's second term. They either want to say the N-word or scream into the mic, or they're just trolling, or they're just rage baiting. There's no... Remember how... Don't forget how tough these people were during the election, right? And then you have people like Matt Nuclear who hide in the comments. He loves hopping in here to be like, "Oh, you silly liberal," but then he's never in the guest request because he'd get cooked when he can just interrupt and railroad. But hey,
Yo,
how old
what's
are
up,
you?
man?
Oh, it's the same guy.
I'm 18. Yes, it's me again, bro.
Yeah, did you want to debate something else or?
It was just more tied into the same thing, but I thought about it again. So,
Okay.
do you know what political party had founded the Conehead dudes?
You mean the Triple K?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Democratic Party?
Yes. And you know
What-
how
what year
everyone
was
says
that?
that there. You know how
What
everyone
year
says
was
that there was
that?
a. It was back in 1817 something.
So what's the relevant of that in 2025?
There was no party switch. No one just says, "Hey, I know that we're
Sure,
the
so
bad
can you
dudes,
list
but
for
you
me
can
which-
take our card."
Sure, can you tell me which like Democratic senators, which Democratic president that's like around right now is in the Triple K?
What I'm saying is, if you can't beat them, you join them. So they're reaping
Sure,
the
so just
benefits.
Give me examples.
of-
Because the only racist I see right now in national politics is Donald Trump and the Republicans,
Well, I mean, the Democrats as
right?
well.
I mean,
man.
the Democrats aren't the ones
Everyone-
calling people from Somalia garbage, are they? That's the Republicans doing that.
I never said that the Republican Party was great either. I don't
You're
like the Republican
You're like,
Party.
do you do the whole enlightened centrist thing where you pretend both parties are bad and I'm above the fray and I've seen through the matrix and everything? Is that your thing?
I'm not seeing through the matrix, but I'm definitely seeing that the Republicans keep the rich in power
Yeah, you
and the
said this
Democrats
last
feed
time.
off
You
of
said
minorities.
this last
That's all
time.
I'm saying.
It's just it's a talking point. It's a slogan. It seems
Okay,
like you were
so-
saying that cutting welfare is bad, but also giving people welfare is bad. So I don't even know what exactly you were trying
I
to argue
see-
in that situation.
I never said that giving welfare is bad. I just said that they definitely reap the benefits of people's lifestyles that they've plagued.
Well, Democrats also support things like the EITC and the child tax credit. There are certain things Democrats support that literally incentivize people to work. You're saying Democrats
yeah,
want
absolutely.
No,
but
you
they
said
still
Democrats
prey on
want
them.
people to be lazy and leech off of welfare. That's what you said.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
But then you just agreed with me that they don't do that. So,
No, that they can do.
maybe we'll find someone real who wants to debate. Notice how quickly Matt Nuclear ran away. He's a real runner. Hey, how old are you?
32.
And do you support Trump?
Yep.
Okay. Do you see the 4 prompts on the screen right now? Above me?
Yeah, I see him.
Take your pick. We can debate any of them.
Like Democrats are better for the economy and mass deportations.
Sure, we'll do both in order. Real quick first, can we get some W's for Chelsea in the chat? Thank you, Chelsea, for the $20 on PayPal. Chelsea had something to say. Let me read this message real quick. Chelsea says, you do such a great job keeping a cool head with these deranged MAGA. Keep it up. I love watching you. Thank you, Chelsea. Let's get some W's for Chelsea in the chat. So let's start off. You're saying that Democrats are not better for the economy. So would you argue that Republicans are better for the economy?
Yeah, I like the no tax on overtime.
Kamala Harris supported no tax on overtime, no tax on tips, and keeping taxes cut for the middle class. The only difference between the two parties on taxes is that Democrats want to raise taxes on the wealthy and Republicans want to cut taxes on the wealthy.
Yeah, well, I'm about to get no tax on overtime. Can't wait to see it this year.
Cool.
I worked
And you know
shit
that
ton of
the no
overtime,
tax on
so I'm
overtime and no
looking
tax on
forward to
tips, that expires. But you know what doesn't expire is the tax cuts for the rich. Isn't that interesting where their priorities lie?
Yeah, well, rich people create jobs, so.
And does that mean they shouldn't pay taxes?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so then what is the
Well,
point of
they-
saying
they-
rich
they-
people
they
create
make-
jobs?
They do create jobs. You
Okay,
need
and
rich
middle class people and working class people and poor people work those jobs. So,
Yeah, I'm one of them.
cool. So then do you not want the wealthy to pay more in taxes?
Well, you act like it's something that it's just under Trump. There's been decades and decades for people to fix this system.
Okay.
So why are you guys going after just Trump? Everything Trump does is bad.
Because Trump is uniquely bad, right? He's uniquely corrupt. He's uniquely authoritarian. He has no idea what he's doing on economic policy. Other countries are laughing at us. He's falling asleep in the middle of meetings. He can't even say words properly. Can't walk in a straight line. It's embarrassing. It's sad.
Really, and you had Joe Biden sleeping at the United Nations. You had Joe Biden. He didn't
If
give a
you
press
think Joe
conference for
Biden
almost
was
4
bad, which
years.
I agree that Joe Biden's cognitive decline was bad, I've always been saying that, Trump is way worse. Way worse.
Then you're delusional. You're delusional.
Or it
if you
seems
think
like you
that.
might have TDS, Trump devotion syndrome. We've been coming across a lot of it today. You might be in stage 4 at this point, or as Trump likes to say, stage 9. Not a real thing. Again,
You're going to
when
compare Trump to Biden, really?
here's the thing: when
How
Biden had
disingenuous is that?
cognitive decline, at least
For 4 years?
at least he knew stuff to forget. There was stuff there that he lost. Trump was stupid to begin with. There's nothing for Trump to forget because he never knew anything in the first place. He's falling asleep in the middle of meetings, on camera, literally passing out. He can't walk in a straight line. He zigzags because his gait is so messed up. He wanted to insult Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, and he said, and I quote, "We have a deadhead Fed here." He can't even say words.
Well, why is it every time I look at Trump, he's in the Middle East, he's in North Carolina, he's doing something for Chris, he's everywhere.
Yeah, he's a
Where was Joe
marketer.
Biden for 4
He's a
years? I didn't
marketer.
see
He's,
Joe Biden for 4
why
years.
is Trump everywhere instead of governing? Isn't that his job? I want him in the Oval Office in the White House doing work.
Dude, every time I look at him, he's networking.
He's
Every single time.
He's
Who
networking.
goes in? He meets with Putin. He
net-
meets with the Middle East.
and
he
Putin-
meets with everybody.
Putin embarrassed
Who
him.
did Biden meet with?
Putin
he goes
embarrassed
to the United
him.
Nations and he falls asleep.
Putin embarrassed him. He showed up to meet Putin. He can't even walk in a straight line down the red carpet. Then after the meeting with Putin, he says, "Great news. Putin just told me that he's okay with Ukraine getting NATO-style security guarantees, and we can have Western European troops on the ground in Ukraine." I'm watching this like, holy shit, did Trump just solve the war? And then, of course, the Russian Foreign Ministry, 20 minutes later, says, "That's not true. We would never fucking do that." Trump meets these world leaders. They glaze him. They smile at him. They give him a shiny trinket. And he thinks, oh my God, I'm the best. I just won. They gave me a gold bar. They gave me a crown. They gave me a necklace. They gave me a plaque. and he gets no actual substantive concessions, right? He puts these tariffs on other countries and says, I'm going to negotiate with you, EU. I'm going to put a tariff on you unless you treat us fairly in trade. He goes there, he negotiates with the EU, he comes back empty-handed. And then he says, no. The EU, they gave me a $600 billion advance. $600 billion for the United States to do whatever they want with that money. Sir, do you know what that money ended up being? It was thoughts and prayers. It wasn't even real. There was no money. We didn't get a dime. These people are playing him. He's an easy mark. His administration is taking advantage of him. Other world leaders are taking advantage of him. Leaders of private industry are taking advantage of him. Do you know how many shiny golden trinkets Trump has gotten so far? It gets to a point where it's like, this guy is just Scrooge McDuck. If you want him to do something that you want, all you have to do is give him a golden plaque or something shiny of some kind. And I can give you a list, this is not even an exhaustive list, of everything he's received so far. He's received a gold bar from the Swiss. He received a crown from South Korea. He received the FIFA Peace Prize from the chair of FIFA. He received, hold on, I have an entire list here. The Apple plaque from Tim Apple. How many golden trinkets does this guy have to get given? How many times does he have to get glazed before you're like, oh, this is a cognitively declining, narcissistic, corrupt old man, and everyone's making a fool of him by flattering him, and he has no idea what's going on?
Oh, dude, that's respect. These people
That's
respect him.
respect.
That's why he's getting these presents.
That's respect.
100%.
So you don't think Trump is prone to flattery?
I think we're all prone to flattery.
Some more than others.
Yeah, well, what about Joe Biden? Joe Biden's son selling his paintings to the Communist Party for like $250,000 a pop. Why aren't you guys
Was Joe
talking
Biden's
about
son
that?
the president? I must have missed that. Because if you want to talk about Donald Trump's sons, not going to be a fun conversation for you. World Liberty Financial, Jared Kushner's multi-billion-dollar deals in Saudi Arabia. The fact that Eric Trump is using Donald Trump to network with other world leaders on construction projects, where the president of Indonesia is caught on a hot mic talking to Donald Trump saying, hey, I'm trying to do a business deal with Eric. Can you have him call me back, please? So
Yeah, there's a difference between a career politician and somebody who was a businessman and then went into politics. Joe Biden, what did he create? He was a filthy rat
what did Joe Biden
politician
create?
his whole life.
You asked what did Joe Biden
All
create?
these politicians. Obama, he's probably never even had a real job.
You asked me what did
All
Joe
these
Biden
people
create?
Before Trump are pretty much career politicians.
Obama went to
Trump-
Harvard. Trump
That's one
would
thing
get
you can't say
expelled
about
from
Trump.
Harvard in week 1, so don't even compare
Is Trump
those
a career
two.
politician?
Huh?
Is Trump a career politician?
He's an establishment politician for sure.
Is he a career politician?
It's his career now.
Is he a career politician by definition?
No, but it doesn't really matter. He's worse.
Sure it does. It absolutely
he's worse.
matters.
He's corrupt.
That's why people voted for him.
People
Oh,
voted
and
for him
who's-
because
and
he
what-
lied.
And Nancy Pelosi's not corrupt. Chuck Schumer's not corrupt. All these people who've been in
Sure.
there for decades.
Can
aren't
you tell
corrupt.
me?
Why don't you speak
Sure.
on them?
Can you tell me?
Trump just got
sure.
here.
Where's Pelosi coin?
What's that?
Where's Pelosi coin? If you're saying Pelosi is more corrupt than Trump, she probably has a cryptocurrency, right? Because that'd be at least as corrupt as Trump if she had a cryptocurrency.
Bro, you never seen the app that you can follow her stock
I know what
trades
you're
and
talking about.
choices?
And guess what? Which
So
political?
what's your point?
Hold on. Which
The
political?
lady's been in there for decades.
Which political
making-
party?
making money off of
Which political
taxpayers.
party wants to ban congressional stock trading?
Somebody in the Trump administration is advocating for
The Trump
stock
administration
trading.
is doing insider trading to the tune of $70 to $80 million, and I can pull up the receipts. If
No,
you'd
somebody
like.
in his administration is advocating to stop insider stock trading.
Nope. Trump is the most
Just
corrupt
recently.
president in modern American history.
That's what you think. That's
Nope.
your opinion.
That is.
'cause you
I have
actually asked.
evidence. I have evidence.
If you care so much about corruption, what about
I
the Somalian
have
thing? How do you feel about that?
evidence.
How do you feel about the Somalians?
Why do you
ripping
have to
off
change the topic?
taxpayers for $9 billion?
Why do you have to change the topic?
Because we're talking about the bigger picture here. Of,
No, we're
corruption,
talking about
ripping
this
off
guy, the bigger
taxpayers.
picture, the president. Why do you have to change the topic?
Because it all goes in together.
No,
of the
I think it's
taxpayer
because you
getting
heard
ripped
me
off and
say.
corruption.
I think it's because you heard me say that I have evidence that Trump is the most corrupt president in modern American history, and you don't want to hear the evidence because you know it's probably a bad look. So therefore, you want to pivot to something else.
Well, you know what's crazy? How Tim Walz was about to be
See
our
how you
vice
still
president.
you want
and look
to
at
you
all the
still want to
corruption.
pivot.
No, it's all the bigger picture. It all
Why
ties
don't you
in
want to
together.
talk about
It's-
Trump's corruption?
He didn't rip off the taxpayers for $9 billion.
Why don't you want to talk about Trump's corruption?
What do you think's worse? Whatever you're talking about corruption, or the corruption that happened in Minnesota
Whatever
under
I'm
Tim
talking
Walz,
about.
who was going to be our vice president?
What I'm talking about is way worse.
It's
And you don't
it's
even,
worse
you don't
than $9
even,
billion from
by the way, you
taxpayers?
don't even know what I'm talking about because you haven't actually had me explain what the corruption is that I'm discussing because I think you don't want me to discuss it. Because I can
You
go,
don't want me to
I can
discuss-
go
you
into
don't want me to discuss what I'm
excruciating
talking about
detail
either.
on Trump's corruption, and it will dwarf any other example you can come up with of Pelosi stock trading or Tim Walz letting like fraud slide, whatever it may be. You just don't want to talk about Trump's corruption because it's absurd. The fact that he launched a cryptocurrency a day before his inauguration where people can anonymously give him hundreds of millions of dollars, and in return for buying his cryptocurrency, they get access to White House tours. They literally advertised Trump Coin and said the top buyers of Trump Coin get to come to the White House. That's just one example. What about World Liberty Financial? Do you know what happened there or no?
No, educate me.
The Trump family and the Witkoff family launched a crypto exchange called World Liberty Financial, and then Binance and the UAE government engaged in a $2 billion transaction using Trump's own stablecoin, which no one was using before that point. They were the first ones to really use it. They lifted the market cap of Trump's stablecoin from $100 million to $2 billion. And then what happened right after Binance did that transaction? Trump pardoned the former CEO of Binance, who was convicted of facilitating money laundering for traffickers and terrorists. And when Trump was asked, "Sir, this appears awfully corrupt. Why did you pardon this guy right after his company used your cryptocurrency to engage in a $2 billion transaction?" And do you know what Trump said when he was asked about that? He said, "Are you ready? I don't know who he is. I just heard it was a Biden witch hunt."
You know, I'd have to look into it more. I'm not taking your word for it.
You're not taking my word for it?
Nope, I'd have to do my own research.
Do you
and
think
check
I'm
it out.
lying?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, it seems like in your politics, if you're a politician, you're going to be corrupt. It's inevitable. So
Do you understand
it
that
seems
there's
like you guys
levels
only
of
focus
corruption?
on- Oh, for sure.
That's why I'm saying
you're
Trump
telling
is
me
the
these-
most corrupt by far, not even close.
Really. He just got there, and he's the most corrupt. He's only served 2 terms. Well,
Isn't
term
it
and a
crazy
half
that
so
in
far.
less than a year he's already become this corrupt? And by the way, you said you didn't believe me. Just listen up, okay? Let's pause for a second. Just use your ears for 1 second, okay?
Guilty in 2023 to richest man of dollars.
Hold on.
Liberty Financial.
1 second.
Go ahead.
There we go.
This is a question about pardons. The Trump family is now perhaps more associated with cryptocurrency than real estate.
Who is that speaking?
You and your sons,
Interviewer
Don-
on 60 Minutes, and Trump's about to respond. Trump's going to speak for himself.
60
Don't worry.
Minutes.
The big Trump.
and Eric have formed World Liberty Financial with the Witkoff family, helping to make your family millions of dollars. It's in that context that I do want to ask you about crypto's richest man, a billionaire known as CZ. He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws. The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is.
Is that not concerning to you? Why is he pardoning people and doesn't even know who they are? And they just happen to be helping his family business profit to the tune of billions of dollars. Doesn't that warrant a little bit of an eyebrow raise, a little bit more than just Nancy Pelosi's insider trading, which, I'm against. Democrats want to ban congressional stock trading. But even if you want to talk about insider trading, it's so much more egregious under the Trump administration, where literally he unilaterally imposes tariffs, and right before he announces the tariff, all of his rich friends will start shorting the stock market, and then they make a shit ton of money on their shorts because they know he's about to impose a tariff. It gets to a point where I'm wondering, how are you still supporting this guy? How?
So you're against corruption on all fronts, correct?
I am, but I'm also not going to pretend like both sides are equally corrupt when one side is way, 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 way worse.
So how do you think Elon Omar got rich in 2 years and she's worth $30 million?
Why do you have to change the subject? Ilhan Omar is
Because
not
we're
president of the
com-
United States right now. And she's not
She's
the
a
subject of the
representative of the
debate.
United States,
This is
right?
called a whataboutism. When I bring up a criticism of Trump and you have to jump to, what about Pelosi? What about Han Omar? That's called a deflection. And it says to me that you actually don't have anything to defend Trump
it's all
with.
relative because they're all in politics, and you claim to be against all sorts of
Yes,
corruption.
and I think when we talk about
So why do
corruption,
you only
I
focus
think
on
when,
Trump?
because when
When
we
these
talk
people have been here
great
for
question,
decades.
great question. When we talk about corruption, we ought to focus on the biggest examples of
30 million.
corruption, on the most egregious examples of corruption. We have to go in order of severity. So once we've handled Trump's
No.
corruption, then we can move
No,
on
you
to
guys
other
pick and
examples of
choose.
corruption
Now you pick and choose.
based on severity.
No, based on Trump derangement syndrome.
I think you're the one with TDS, Trump devotion syndrome. That's what I'm getting from you right now. I guarantee you, if I played you a clip of someone asking Joe Biden, why did you pardon this actual horrible criminal? And then Joe Biden said, I don't know who he is. I know for a fact that all of MAGA would be complaining and screaming and smearing their shit on the walls on Fox News and saying, oh my God, cognitive decline, autopen. But when Trump does it, it's radio silence.
Dude, Biden
There we
pardoned a killer from Connecticut. I'm from Connecticut. This dude killed like a whole family. He pardoned him.
Did he
Let him out
pardon
of
him?
jail.
Did
Yeah,
he
go look it
pardon
up.
him, or did he just commute from the death penalty to life in prison?
No, he pardoned him.
So okay, I just want to be clear. You think it's really bad when presidents pardon violent criminals, right?
The guy was a murderer.
Right. So you think it's bad when presidents pardon violent criminals? I just want to make sure that's your premise.
Well, I wouldn't say presidents. I would say the auto pen.
Do you want to give me the name of this person that Biden pardoned, by the way?
Yeah, let me look it up real quick.
Let me know. Because what I'm familiar with is Biden taking people off of death row because he's against the death penalty. Because, here we go, federal death row inmates. The sentences of 37 individuals on federal death row were commuted. They weren't let loose. They were commuted to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. So that just seems like Joe Biden is against the death penalty, not that he's in favor of releasing violent criminals. Now, I think you know what I'm going to ask you. Do you know what I'm about to ask you, since you seem to be very upset about Biden commuting the sentence of someone violent? Can you guess what I'm about to ask you, sir? And I can't hear you if you're talking right now. You're not in the app. You need to open up TikTok again for us to hear you. Any minute now. Any day now.
Yeah, the dude's name was Adrian Peeler from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Okay. Spell that for me.
Adrian,
Mm-hmm.
Peeler.
Mm-hmm. Let's read the detail. I would love to read more about this case.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
His release was made possible by former President Joe Biden, who granted him clemency in his final days in January 2025. The following details explain how he was released despite his connection to a double murder. Peeler was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder for the 1999 killings of 8-year-old Leroy B.J. Brown and his mother, Karen Clark. He finished his 25-year state sentence for this crime in January 2022. After his state sentence, he was transferred to federal prison to serve a 35-year sentence for unrelated drug trafficking charges. Biden commuted his drug sentence, not his murder sentence. Seems relevant, no? He didn't pardon him for the murder. He served his time for the murder. He pardoned him for nonviolent drug offense, which I think is fine. Now, do you know what I'm about to ask you? I think you know.
What, the J6 people?
That Trump pardoned. Did you know Trump pardoned someone who threatened to kill an FBI agent? Do you know Trump pardoned multiple people who were convicted of seditious conspiracy and violence against police officers, and that he called them patriots and heroes and hostages? Did Joe Biden ever call Adrian Peeler a patriot or a hostage? I must have missed that.
Well, it wasn't him. It was the auto pen, so he doesn't know. He didn't know what he was signing.
So it seems like Trump's using the same auto pen, right? Because he was asked about that part and he didn't know what the fuck was going on there. Are you ready? I don't know who he is. So it seems like Trump is using the same auto pen Biden did, apparently, which not a great argument against Trump. Or sorry, against Biden.
Well,
Are you
Trump
okay
signs
with
everything
Trump's
by
January
him.
6 pardons?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Why are you cool with it? But you're not cool with Biden pardoning someone for unrelated drug sentence.
Or him pardoning his son who threw a gun in the dumpster and is a crackhead. And he said, what did he say?
You're
said,
doing the thing again where you pivot.
No, it's not pivot. It's comparison.
Then let's compare something that's apples and apples, which is, why are you okay
But
with
didn't he
Donald
say he
Trump's
was never
pardons?
gonna-
Why are you okay with Donald Trump's
he was never
pardons?
going to pardon his son, right? That's what
Why
he said.
are you
I'll never use my
okay-
presidential powers to
Why
pardon the
are
son.
you okay with Donald Trump's pardons of the J6 terrorists? Who tried to, they tried to do a coup on our government. Pretty bad stuff. Probably shouldn't be pardoned for that.
Because those people are patriots.
The ones who beat police officers are patriots.
Those people care about America.
The people that beat police officers are patriots.
Unlike the BLM rioters who burnt down cities for a whole summer.
I'm going to ask
And there
you
was
again.
no consequences for them, just like in Tim Walz's Minnesota.
I'm going to ask you again. Are people who abuse police officers patriots? Because if I remember correctly, Biden was running for president during the BLM protests, which by and large were peaceful protests, and Biden
No, they
stood on the debate stage and said, "I condemn all violence. Stay peaceful." Has Donald Trump ever really said that?
Well, Joe Biden invited BLM rioters into the White House.
Again,
who
we're
said,
doing the whataboutism, which is fine, but let's at least
in a
also
blanket.
include Trump in the whataboutism. If we're going to do the
in a
whataboutism game,
blanket.
if you want to just compare Biden and Trump, we can do that. Again, not going to look great for you. So I'm going to ask you again, is someone a patriot if they attack a police officer?
No, but is somebody a patriot if they invite
Hold on,
BLM
hold on.
rioters into the White
Why
House?
did you call them
and they
patriots
say,
then?
pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon?
Why did you call them patriots then?
Well, you're going to have a few bad apples in the mix.
Why did he pardon the bad apples?
Which ones? Like the Proud Boys guy?
Those are a few of many. He pardoned multiple people who were convicted of seditious conspiracy, which is the Proud Boys guys, the Oath Keepers guys, and then also just other people that were convicted of violence against police officers. And it was so bad. Certain Capitol Police ended up taking their own lives after this because they were so traumatized by January 6th. And these people are patriots. People who were so violent and such fucking savages that they desecrated our Capitol building. They tried to overturn the result of a free and fair election. And they traumatized Capitol Police so badly that 2 of them took their own lives afterwards. And you would say those people are patriots who drove Capitol Police to suicide. They're patriots. Really?
Yeah, they're patriots. Thank God
They're
Kamala
patriots.
didn't win because this country would be
Explain.
done if she
Explain
won.
how they are patriots.
Because that wasn't a fair election.
Therefore,
wasn't a fair
first
election.
of all, it was.
And
But
they're
even
stick-
even
they're
if it,
sticking
hold
up-
on, even if it wasn't,
They're
which
sticking
it,
up
it
for
was,
what's right.
it was a fair election. But even if it wasn't a fair election,
No, it wasn't.
okay, let's say it wasn't for a second. Would that justify criminality?
No, that's standing up for what you believe in.
Because I remember last time a Democrat thought the election was unfair. His name was Al Gore. And we actually have reason to believe that maybe he actually did win Florida. But when the Supreme Court shut that down, Al Gore conceded. And I think Al Gore probably had a way stronger argument than Donald Trump in terms of unfair election. And notice how, even when Al Gore and Democrats maybe thought the 2000 election was unfair, how they didn't go and beat up police officers trying to break into the Capitol building. Notice how we don't do that?
Yeah, just like the Russian collusion hoax.
Not a hoax.
Like the Russians. It's not a hoax. It was real.
Who's Paul Manafort? Oh, he left. He left. They always love calling the Russia hoax. And then you bring up the actual, like, indictments of Trump's team. Like, I'm reading right here, and I can pull this up on the TikTok as well. Hold on. Manafort pleaded guilty to conspiracy against the United States. Failing to register as a foreign agent. Huh. Okay. Let's just ask in a different way, okay? Was anyone who worked for Trump indicted for the, and I'll even use their own word, Russia hoax? I'm so curious. Paul Manafort, Rick Gates, Michael Flynn, George Papadopoulos, Roger Stone, Michael Cohen. This doesn't look like a hoax to me. This looks like a list of people who worked for Donald Trump and they were indicted. Huh. Funny how that works, isn't it? Very funny. And, I didn't even ask about Bubba. Doesn't Putin have the Bubba pictures, allegedly? Oh, Lord. Hold on. If you guys are enjoying the live, make sure you're double tapping the screen, following up above if you're not already following. I am also live on YouTube, and my Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo are all in the link tree in my bio as well. Hey, how old are you?
Hi, I'm 41. I'm not opposition. I mean, I have common sense. I'm not a Trump supporter. I just want to say, I just watched how you did that so effortlessly, and just thank you. Like, I know you probably hear that a lot by people saying thank you for what you're doing, but like, I
Thank you
just
for
don't
watching,
understand.
because if it wasn't for people like you watching, I'd just be some guy in my room yapping at the sky. So
Yeah, because there's no getting through to these people. They just talk in bullet points
Yeah.
and what they hear from Fox and
whatever
what
they just saw on
what
Twitter
Trump says.
yesterday. Yeah.
And I disengage sometimes, not because I don't want to converse, but I don't like having conversations where it goes nowhere.
Mhm.
And you have a little bit more patience than I do, and just thank you for that. But like, yeah, I wish people had more common sense to realize
I agree.
nothing is good right now. And like you said, they pivot to something else.
Yep.
That's because they're backed into a corner and they can't
Exactly.
defend what he's doing, so they deflect to something else.
Yep.
And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make, first of all, wrong on either side is always going to be wrong, but let's not pretend like what he's doing is less than what anyone else is doing. It's disgusting, and I feel like we're being held hostage
Yeah.
by this administration,
Yeah.
by this incompetent administration, and it's disgusting. And I just want to say thank you. I don't want to take up your time because I know
No
you want
worries.
to talk to other people. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for hopping on. Thank you for sharing that. And again, I appreciate you for watching, because again, these lives are only fun if people are in the guest request, people are watching, which the guest requests are now empty. So maybe this was a short-lived live. If anyone has MAGA friends or family, share the live with them, double tap the screen. If we don't get any more debates, maybe there's some news I can cover, or maybe we're just going to wrap up a little bit earlier today. They only know their bulleted talking points. Yeah, I mean, they love saying Russia hoax, but then you ask them any follow-up questions, like, what is the Internet Research Agency? Like, you are aware that, like, Russia interfered with our election, right? And the evidence seems to indicate they interfered on behalf or in favor of Donald Trump. And my family road trip is not happening yet. It's happening probably tomorrow. It's postponed a little bit, so that's why I went live today. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results for the next 10 minutes because your live does not comply with the For You feed eligibility standards under our community guidelines. Reason: Misinformation that may cause moderate harm. How often do MAGA lives get this? I get it every time I go live. I don't know what misinformation I've shared. But I'd love to get some debates going nonetheless, if we can. If there's no debates left, I might just wrap it up. Might just be a super quick live today. We did an hour. Because we could cover the news, but I'm like really in a debate mood right now. And if there's no one to debate, then hold on. I'm gonna let my dog in real quick. Restarting. It's only a 10-minute thing, so it'll be back on the For You feed in 10 minutes. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Man. No one? They all ran. I hate to say it again. I said it last live as well. When MAGA sends their people, they're not sending their best. They're dumbasses, they're ignorant, and some I assume are good people. But those ones don't support Trump anymore, right? 77 million people voted for Trump in 2024, and more than half of them at this point really, really regret that. A lot of them were first-time voters. Liam is lurking around. Liam's not going to debate me. He's just going to hop on and start screaming and crying like he did last time. Liam doesn't debate anymore. I think he's in the crashing out phase. Trump supporters are cooked right now. They have nothing. I'm going to put this back up again. The entire point of this live is to rage bait them into hopping in the requests. And I'm going to say it again. MAGA is finished. There's no one left. There's no one left. It's empty. It's hollow. And I can just... Hold on. I can just show everyone. Hold on. Let's switch the scene here and here. Trump's approval rating drops to 36%, which is one of his lowest ever. You know, last time Trump's approval rating was this low was right after January 6th. Yikes. He came in almost at 50%, and he's down 11 points. And look how high the disapproval has shot up, 60%. That's a super majority almost. Even Republican approval is 84. Yikes. We got 16% now of Republicans that are like, I don't know about this. I don't know who the fuck are the 3% of Democrats that support him. I don't know what that is. That's kind of crazy. 25%. Ooh, this is the big one that fucks him over, right? When Trump comes in, he's at 46% with independents. Now he's at 25. Yikes. Of course MAGA's crashing out. I'd be freaking out if this happened to me. And then we have people like M-Dog, who are not actually people, who is either from a Russian... Let's all place some bets here. We have M-Dog says... I think he means to say libtard, but he said libtrada. Libtrada believe a poll. Now, do we think that this account is a Russian bot farm or a Chinese bot farm? It's definitely not a real person. If it was a real person, they'd be in the guest requests, right? And the fact that there are no real people left, is why you see all these fake MAGA bots in the chat. Trump 2024, shut up liberal, go back to your country. It's all they can do is put people in the chat, but they're never in the guest requests. That's how you know what's fake and what's real. The ones in the chat that aren't in the guest requests are either cowards or not real people. Wow. He's underwater on everything. Overall job, 36%. Crime, 43%. Foreign affairs, 41%. Foreign trade, 39%. Oh, Lord. Healthcare policy, 30% approval. Y'all I hope y'all are worried. The situation in Ukraine, 31. The federal budget, 30. What happened to he's a businessman. He's going to balance our budget and make world peace. Libtrada's rule, so true. So true. What happened to Trump is going to bring peace in the Middle East? 33% approval. Yikes, yikes. Oh, Lord. Oh, just to be clear, it's independents that win you elections, typically. I believe Trump won independents in 2024. I believe Biden won them in 2020. They are difference makers in swing states. And this is why MAGA is cooked. The cult members are still there, right? You got 70 to 80% Republicans are cult members, fine. This is tough. 38 on crime, that's his best number, is 38. Foreign affairs, 31. Immigration, 29. Foreign trade, 33. I was promised trade deals and no new wars. But his foreign affairs is 31. Situation in Ukraine, 23. Healthcare policy, 23. Middle East, 25. Federal budget, 22. Economy, 28. This is crazy. The economy has always been one of Trump's best issues in polling, but he's so ass. Even this is now collapsing. There's a reason why these people got super full of themselves after winning 2024. They think it's a mandate. They think they've won some kind of mandate because they won 49% of the vote? Hold on. That doesn't track to me. In what world is 49.91% a mandate? These idiots think they have a mandate, and they came in and they went mask off a little too quickly. If they were smart, they would have waited to go this mask off till 2 years in, till 3 years into Trump's second term. They went mask off immediately. Gavin Newsom, you got to go to jail. J.B. Pritzker, you got to go to jail. Rob Reiner, I think it's funny you died. National Guard, you work for me now. You have to do law enforcement. Judicial branch, legislative branch, I don't care. I'm an authoritarian. He went mask off way too quickly, and then it backfires, and you go from 49% support to 35% support. Because does everyone notice? Trump only wins when he's the challenger. Trump only wins when he gets to run against the status quo, because then he gets to point at all the legitimate issues with the status quo and say, oh, that's because of the Democrats, and I'm going to fix it. Whenever Trump is an incumbent, he loses. He lost in 2020. Republicans are going to lose in 2028. They're going to lose in 2026, because when the American people actually see Republican governance, when they actually see MAGA's governance, they hate it. They hate it. And by the way, if according to MAGA this is a mandate, right? If 2024 was a mandate, then what was... Hold on, this is 20... where's 2020? What the fuck? If that was a mandate, what is this? If 49% is a mandate, according to MAGA, what is 51.3%? What is a lead of 7 million votes? That's not a mandate? Flipping Georgia for the first time in how many decades? This wasn't a mandate, though. Huh. Interesting how that works. And the Russian and Chinese bot farms are working overtime now. They're in the chat. They're not in the guest requests. Everyone can see for themselves. Click the guest request button. You will see there's 0 people requesting, because they are either cowards or they're being run by like the Russian government or the Chinese government or something. What's your dog's name? Rose. You should probably just leave America. It's funny you say that coming from a bot farm that's probably not on U.S. soil. I don't even think you're in America. So, Would you like me to come join you? Is that what you mean when you say leave America? You want me to come to wherever you're at in Russia or China? I'm good. I'm good. Can we see Rose? Absolutely not. Okay, and I'm gonna get my shock collar if you ask again. Thank you for the That was a joke. Thank you for the Pharaoh mask. Is the shock collar joke dragged out? Is that too late now to make that kind of joke? Who are you gonna run in 2028, Gavin? I hope it's not Gavin. The actual winning strategy is James Tallarico wins the Texas Senate seat, and then he runs for president in 2028. My only worry with Tallarico is that he's such a nice guy that he might not throw everyone in jail who should be thrown in jail. Because people need to be thrown in jail for this. How's the economy right now, he asks. Great question. Fantastic question. So, services, less energy services, and what are we looking for here? Commodities, less food and energy. So here we can see services inflation and goods inflation. Now, the actual macroeconomic trend at the moment, if you ask people like Jerome Powell, is we are supposed to be seeing disinflation. The economy is supposed to be doing well right now. But every part of the economy that Trump has put his orange grubby fingers on is bucking that trend, right? So with services, which are not affected by tariffs, you see a decrease in inflation. You see disinflation with services. But then, if you look at goods, goods inflation is going up. It's moving in the opposite direction. So here's what everyone should be very aware of when it comes to the economy. Everything going right in the economy right now is happening in spite of Trump, not because of Trump. It's happening in spite of Trump. And if Trump wasn't the president, whatever is good right now would be 10 times higher. And to Corey, please hop in the guest requests. I'd love for you to hop in the guest requests. If you're a real person. Huh. Corey's not responding. It's not particularly controversial that Trump's tariffs are raising prices. Hold on.
Case for this.
Don't take my word for it. Hold on. Is this what I'm looking for? No, this is not. I'm looking for a speech. Here we go. Yeah, here it is.
After. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Very little data on inflation have been released since our meeting in October. Total PCE prices rose.
By the way, if the economic data was so good, you know damn well that the Trump administration would be releasing it as much as they can.
2.8% over the 12 months ending in September, and excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices also rose 2.8%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up.
What? No way. I thought Trump was going to lower grocery prices. Goods inflation has picked up? Why is that, Mr. Powell?
Reflecting the effects of tariffs.
Oh. I can see why Trump doesn't like him. Makes sense. He's also destroyed the labor market. So, he did a different speech where he talked about, maybe it was this one. Yeah, I watched this one.
In my remark,
how Trump's deportations are hurting the labor market.
in labor force growth. Over the longer run, changes in tax, spending, and regulatory over the past year. This year, the economy has faced new challenges. Significantly higher tariffs across our trading partners are
That's a challenge?
making the global trading system. Tighter immigration policy has led to an abrupt slowdown in labor force growth.
Huh.
Over the longer run, changes in tax, spending, and regulatory policies may also have important implications for economic growth and productivity.
I just want to be clear. When we talk about like mass deportations, these people make these claims about how like, oh, immigrants come here and they steal jobs. No, immigrants who come here, whether or not they're documented or undocumented, they create jobs. When more people exist in the United States, the aggregate demand for goods and services goes up. And when the aggregate demand for goods and services goes up, there's more demand for labor to produce those goods and services, which means either wages go up or hiring goes up, or some combination of both, right? The demand for labor goes up. So anytime someone tells you immigrants come in here and they compete with native-born Americans, they steal our jobs and shrink our economy, not true. That's a lie. Not how economics works. What we actually know is that undocumented people create what are known as complementary jobs. The jobs they work create new jobs that work in relation to those jobs, which are often filled by American-born people. And again, there is stats on this. It is projected by the Economic Policy Institute that mass deportations are going to lead to 6 million jobs lost. And of those 6 million jobs lost, 2.4 million are going to be American-born citizens. Oh, we have a guest request. Nice. Very cool. Let's hope this is a real person. Hey, how old are you?
What's up, Adam? I'm 41.
And do you support Trump?
Yes.
Awesome. Do you see the 4 prompt on the screen right now?
Yep.
Take your pick. We can debate any of them.
I'm for getting all the illegals out of here, especially the Somalians that are committing massive fraud in Minnesota. Are you tracking that, Adam?
The Somalians are illegal?
Most of them are, I'm pretty sure, in Minnesota, yeah. About 80% of them that are legal are on some form of government assistance, Adam.
Are most Somalians in Minnesota undocumented? I'm curious. You just said most of them. No, the vast majority of Somalis in Minnesota are not undocumented. Estimates suggest about 95% are U.S. citizens or legal residents, green card holders or citizens.
Hey, Adam, when did Somalians start coming to America?
Huh. No,
do you think Somalians...
Are you not gonna address the fact that you just lied?
No, I didn't lie.
You said that most of them are undocumented.
I'm pretty sure they are.
It says 95%
They're just
are citizens
obviously
or legal
not
residents.
documented if they're undocumented, buddy.
We still have estimates for undocumented immigrants. You understand that, right?
Hey, Adam, when did Somalians start coming to America? About what year?
Why are you changing the topic all of a sudden?
Well, dude, you don't understand that 75 out of 80 of them that got arrested were Somalians that are committing the fraud up there, right?
Guess what? Anyone who commits a crime should get arrested. And I think it's
So
weird.
when it's-
I think it's
so when
weird
it's-
to fixate on whether they're Somalian or not. That's weird.
So wait, Adam, hold on, bro. When it's 95% of them committing the fraud, don't you think there's a problem?
Tell me what the problem is. Be specific. Say it with your chest.
They're making fake healthcare systems up there and stealing money from federal.
Let me ask the question
federal
clearly.
money, buddy.
Let me ask the question clearly. What is it about being Somalian that you think has any kind of connection to financial fraud?
Well, when 95%
Do you agree with Trump
of
that
them
it's
are
a garbage
committing
country
the
with
fraud-
garbage people?
Bro, hold on. Adam, listen, bro. Hold on. Give me a second. You understand that Minnesota houses the largest Somalian U.S. population, right?
That's fine.
Okay, so you agree, right?
If
the
they're
most
documented
Somalians
people
live
who
in
are just
Minnesota.
living their life, that's fine.
No, dude. It's a hub. All of them live in one state in Minnesota, bud. So they're committing fraud in Minnesota. Who's the
This is like
representative
saying
there,
there's a
bud?
bunch of Italians in New York. What is your point?
Adam, who's the fucking representative of Minnesota, bud? The House of Representatives. Ilhan Omar. Is she Somalian guy?
Yeah, and you understand she was elected, right?
Oh, so you can't put the fucking puzzle together, buddy?
Say it. Put the puzzle together. Say it
You
with your
can't put
chest.
the
Don't be
jigsaw
a coward. Don't be a coward. Say it with your chest.
Oh, I'm not a fucking coward.
Okay, say
dude.
it. What is it
I'll
about
get her-
Somalians? What is it about Somalians
Dude,
you don't like?
there's pictures. Adam, there's pictures of her and the guy that got arrested that's committing massive
I'm going
fraud,
to ask
bud.
you again. What does that have to do with them being Somalian?
Everything. They're
Like what?
fraud, They're
Say it.
fraudsters, bud.
Say
they're
it.
fraudsters. They come here.
Somalians
they
are
come here to
fraudsters.
America.
Somalians
Let
are
me fucking say it.
fraudsters.
Shut your
Is that
mouth
your
and let me
claim?
say it, buddy.
Is that your claim?
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth.
Is
and
that
let
your
me say
claim?
it so you can clip it. They come here and they suck off the government nipple. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my country.
What if they're citizens though and they're green card holders?
They're citizen. Dude, what the fuck have they done for America?
Hold on. So you want to
What have
deport
they done
citizens?
for Americans, buddy?
You want to deport citizens. I want to be clear.
No, I'm not for you coming here and having your anchor baby, buddy. We're not doing that shit no
You
more,
want
guy.
to just say it. Do you want to deport citizens?
I want to deport the illegals and the people that are committing fraud.
No, you're not talking about the quote unquote illegals. You're talking about green card holders and citizens. Do you want to deport green card holders
Get
and
them
citizens?
the fuck out of here. They don't. What do they offer America, bud? What do they do for America?
You're saying get them the fuck out of here. I want to be clear.
Except for bringing. Hold on.
I want to
Adam,
be clear.
all they
You're
do
saying get them the
is they
fuck out of
bring their
here.
culture here.
You're saying
and
get
they
them
do
the
not
fuck.
assimilate.
You're saying get them the
They
fuck
do
out
not
of here.
assimilate,
You're
Adam.
saying get them the fuck out of here. Do you want to deport citizens and green card holders? Just say it. Don't be so scared. Own it.
I want to
Own
support
it.
the people that came here.
Own
and-
it.
Dude, will you shut the fuck up and let me say it?
You're so
Shut
slippery.
Up.
You're scared of saying what you actually believe. I know what you
I'm
believe.
trying
Say
to
it.
fucking be rated R and say it for you, but you won't shut your fucking cocksucker.
Not everyone
Adam,
uses our
I don't
mouth for the
want
same
any of
purpose as
fuck-
you do, but go
hey,
ahead.
Adam, guess what, bud? I don't want any of the fucking Somalians here. Get the fuck out of my country, guy.
That just seems like
They
you're a
don't come
hateful,
here
angry
and
person.
assimilate, buddy. They do not come here and assimilate to our culture.
Well, if they
the
became
American culture.
American culture is multiculturalism. You understand that, right?
Adam, in 1950, we were 90% white, you fucking clown.
Oh my God! It's almost like it's not 1950 anymore. Whoa!
Yeah, no shit, we're less than 50.
It's almost like countries evolve and change.
White Americans,
It's almost
you
like
fucking
countries
retard.
evolve and change over time. Oh my goodness! You know what else
It's
was
a soft genocide on white Americans, dude. What
You
are
know-
you talking about?
you know what else
Go
was it-
back to your own fucking country.
I was born here, and I'm clearly more American than you'll ever be. But I'm going to ask you a question. You know what else was the case
Hey,
in
did you serve in the
1950?
military? Hey, Adam, did you serve in the military?
You know what else was the case in 1950?
No, you didn't, because you're a pussy bitch. I'm the veteran guy. Don't tell me, bro.
Yikes.
I'm the fucking army
Stop!
veteran.
You're giving
dude.
a bad
You-
name to
Who
veterans.
the fuck are you?
You're giving a
Who the
horrible
fuck
name.
are you, Adam?
You're giving a horrible name to veterans. I'm going to ask you.
Adam, who the fuck are you,
1950
though,
was
buddy?
so great. A guest in your live has violated our hate speech and hateful behaviors policy. Repeated violations by your guest may lead to restrictions on your access to multi-guest live features. Can someone explain why I have to get punished for people like that existing? And by the way, guys, that's what MAGA actually thinks deep down. They don't care if someone's undocumented. If someone isn't white, they think that them merely existing in the United States constitutes genocide on white people. And he loves to say, oh, let's go back to 1950. Oh, you mean during Jim Crow? That's your ideal society, was during Jim Crow? Okay. Cool. The Cold War era? You yearn for that, really? Okay. Hey, how old are you?
Dude, I just want to say Ryan West is a total goober.
True.
Goofy ass goober.
True.
He's a little punk bitch. And to hate Somalians like that, dude, the way he equates Somalians to Minnesota, fucking dumb. So goofy, so dumb. The boy doesn't care about Somalians or Minnesota unless Fox News tells him to. So good night, brother.
Good night.
Appreciate you.
True. I appreciate you as well. And here's the thing, right? This is what Trump did, by the way, in the 2024 campaign. They use the idea of law and order as a Trojan horse. Because the average person hears law and order, and they're like, yeah, sure, I like law and order. The average person hears, if someone comes in and they're a criminal, they should be deported. Obviously, everyone agrees. They use those talking points as a Trojan horse for their actual beliefs. which is nativism, and xenophobia, which is that if you haven't been in America for at least 4 generations, get the fuck out. That's what they believe. These people are what is known as blood and soil nationalists. They think there's this thing called the founding stock of the country. That's what I'm just saying out loud what they believe deep down, right? They believe if you came here at any point, basically after the mid-20th century, you gotta go. And it is racism, but it's not just racism. Xenophobia and nativism are a certain flavor of bigotry, which are different than just racism, right? Because some of these types will say, the only people I want in America are foundational white Americans and foundational black Americans. But all the Asians, all the Latinos, they gotta go. Only people that were here at the turn of the century, from the 19th to 20th century, only they get to stay. Everyone else gotta go. If your family wasn't here during the Civil War, you gotta get out. Now, there is a lot of racism there, but it's not just racism. There are layers to their bigotry, and they hide all of those layers inside a fucking Russian doll thing, where the biggest one is just law and order. We have a border, right? This is how Trump frames it. We have a border. Gotta enforce the border. I guess that makes sense. So, okay, how do you want to enforce the border? Somalians are destroying the country. Huh? And this has been the story of why Trump is so unpopular. Because when he's running in 2024, he's not even two-faced. He's like 10-faced. He goes on these podcasts and he says, listen, we just want to get the dangerous criminals out of here. The dangerous criminals out of here. And then, what do they actually do when they're governing? They go to immigration courthouses. They use IRS records to specifically target people who are taxpayers. They send lawful asylum seekers to CCOT. They went mask off a little bit too quickly. I'm saying, like, if these people wanted their authoritarian project to be successful, they should have waited to say all this racist authoritarian stuff till at least 2027. Massage it in slowly. These people got so cocky after winning 49% of the vote that they think they can stroll into the White House, bulldoze half of it, and then go full mask off and say, fuck Somalia. Fuck immigrants. I don't care if you're legal or illegal. Get the fuck out. Liam, are you here to debate, or are you all just going to crash out again?
No, I thought it was pretty fun. We did a pretty good job.
It was funny, but it wasn't substantive, and I like substance, Liam.
You know, I would like to bring a little bit of substance. No, I'm not really in a joking.
Awesome.
I'm not in a joking mood right now. I think that I know that this would be up for debate to you because you're an atheist, but I believe that
I literally believe in God. But continue.
Well, you don't stand up for God. You know, Christ says
standing up for God is actually trying to be a good person of upstanding character, standing up for communities that are.
Let me make my point so you can
trying to fight for a better world.
Let me make my premise and my point so you can argue. Can we do that?
Be my guest.
So the Bible says if you don't stand up for me, I won't stand up for you in front of my Father. Okay, we all know this. Now, we look at Christmas. The Christmas holiday is a recognition of Christ's birth. You know, of the Messiah, of Jesus, you know, of Nazareth, and, you know, and all the miracles that he performed, and, you know, shedding his blood for mankind. Okay, and all that. We understand that. Okay, that's Christmas. Now you look at Donald Trump, okay, going, I'm not going to see, you know, Christians being targeted in Nigeria, and you see the United States targeting the radical state of Islam in Nigeria, and striking at Christmas Day. I think this is a direct recognition that from the top down that our president-elect actually does care about Christians being persecuted. And what my point is, do you think that we as Christians, being missionaries and stuff, should be respected and feared on the world stage when we are going to these regions and helping out these people? Yeah, feared.
I think
for sure. Feared.
Respect is enough.
No, I think that with respect, fear is fear. No.
You don't need
There's
their
no
fear.
respect without fear.
Not true. You're correct. This is how Trump thinks about leadership. He thinks people have to fear me. Real respect is people choosing to respect you, not because you can hurt them, but because they actually are inspired by you in some way, not because you threaten them in some way.
I never said threat, but listen. Okay,
I'm
so the
referring
Bible
to Trump,
said,
right? Trump always
well,
says,
listen.
Kim Jong-un, I want my people to treat me like they treat Kim Jong-un in North Korea. That's what he says.
Kim Jong Un. Oh, you're not saying it right. But anyway,
I just said Kim Jong-un.
now you're saying it right. Okay, good boy. So
Same
the
thing I
thing
said.
is, dude, is the Bible says that fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Okay, so you're going to come in here and say that the United States should not be feared. Fear and respect coincide, I believe. Okay. Yes, they do.
I think that
I don't care what you disagree with. You don't understand.
What you are laying out is the same foreign policy that has undergirded all of our drone strikes that have killed civilians, our intervention in foreign countries, and regime change, what Israel is doing in Gaza. The idea that we have to assert ourselves with violence and fear.
Pivot.
I directly addressed the idea.
What
of
was my
fear on the
claim
world
and what
stage.
was my conversation, Snowflake?
You asked
Get
me
back,
if I, you
get
asked
back
me,
on track.
You asked me if I think it's a good thing for quote unquote Christian nations to have respect and fear on the world stage. I said respect is enough, and also Christian nation, I don't know, America's a secular nation.
So wait a minute. Would you say that having a strong military, okay, building new warships and all this stuff, strengthening, expanding our military is not showing force, is not showing presence. It's not showing that we're powerful,
Sure
and
it
that would be an example of other countries respecting and fearing us because of how strong we
You're
are.
using respect and fear interchangeably. I just don't buy it.
No, I'm not using it as it's a healthy fear. Okay. It's not a threatening fear. It's a fear of retaliation.
I
not
want to be
going,
clear.
Hang on.
Other
I'm not
world
going to
leaders
target.
are
Dude,
laughing
stop.
at Donald Trump.
I'm not
They
going
laugh
to
at him.
a country saying I'm not going to target the United States because there will be retaliation.
America
and
is more
I am in
respected?
fear of that.
Do you think America is more respected under Donald Trump than it was
Can
under
you
Joe
at
Biden?
least engage with me if
I'm
you're going to
directly
debate?
engaging. You're talking
I'm
about
not
our
going to
respect on the-
conversate with you if
You're
you can't
talking
engage.
about our respect on the world stage. So now I'm saying Donald Trump is not respected on the world stage. He's a
You're
joke.
saying what
He's a
aboutisms,
joke.
dude.
No, I'm talking about
This is not a whataboutism.
the guy
I
on the
brought
screen. The topic of the debate. I don't know if you see him. I know he's like kind of covered by some darkness. That's Donald Trump right there. That's the topic of the debates. You didn't even pick a single debate prompt on the screen. That's fine. I'm going to ask you about respect
Look
on the
at
world
you
stage.
running.
I'm going to ask you about
Chat.
respect
Your
on the
hero
world stage.
has been debunked, ladies and gentlemen.
Liam's the type of guy to make a point and then you directly address his point and he's like, well, chat. He's deflecting. Okay, I'm responding directly to your point. Do you think Donald Trump is respected on the world stage, Liam?
100% I do. But back
Why
to
are they
my
laughing at
claim.
him then?
Stop it. No. I made the conversation.
Stop it, Adam. Stop bringing up actual examples of me being a dumbass.
I
I'm gonna
answered
ask
your
you again.
question. Now
Why are they laughing at him?
Hey, anybody can laugh at you, okay? Who's laughing at who?
The president of Azerbaijan, he was making jokes about Trump because Trump always mixes up which countries he made peace between. He says
Azerbaijan.
Albania,
Oh my
Azerbaijan, Armenia, every country that starts with an A, he thinks he made peace between them. And they were talking to President Emmanuel Macron of France, and they were making fun of Trump. They're like, sir, don't you know Trump is the peace president? And they all start laughing. He's a joke. Vladimir Putin dog-walked him when he came to America. Every single world leader that engages with Trump is like, oh, all I need to do to manipulate Trump is flatter him and give him a shiny trinket. And it works every time like a charm because he has the brain of a toddler.
No, there's always been negotiating and
He's not negotiating.
you know, gifts that have given exchanged. Okay, stop it, dude. I'm in the middle of conversation.
bunch
You're
of
still
shiny
cutting me off.
golden gifts?
You sound like a child. Do you know how to debate?
Yes, I like to go point by point. You like
This
to go
is
5
so
points at a
bad,
time.
dude. So bad faith on you. For starters, also Jason K, Harry Simpson's moderator, him and his wife are on different accounts in your chat. They're both fucking single-wide weirdos. But anyway, let's move forward, you and I. Yeah, Harry Simpson's moderator sitting in your chat. It's so sad, dude. Remember the guy that harmed women on TikTok, Harry Sisson? The guy that allowed him to do it and muted everyone that called him out sitting in your chat right now. That guy, Jason K.
Wait, what are you accusing Harry Sisson of?
And his wife is in the same bedroom
Wait, what are
on
you
her
accusing?
phone.
What are you accusing Harry Sisson of right now? Just say it with your chest.
Using his platform
Okay.
to play women against each other so he could pleasure himself.
And you think that when someone does that, there's just no way you could support them, right?
No, that's not my point.
Why'd you bring it up? Because there's a little guy
he's
in the White House
because
right
he's
now.
the white,
Little guy
because
sitting
he's
in the
the
White
white
House right
knight,
now. So
because he's the white knight for women's rights and talking about how terrible Donald Trump is, and he's a young man starting out doing the same thing.
I'm just saying,
okay?
if you think
hypocritical, right?
I'm just saying. If
Adam, hypocritical, right?
What you're doing, correct? Yes, because if you're so concerned with people mistreating,
What I'm doing.
if you're so concerned with people mistreating women, why do you support Donald Trump? If this is so important to you.
Wait a minute. Donald Trump is the one that flew the plane with the Highway to the Danger Zone music in the background and shit on Harry Sisson. Okay, there's the difference.
Yeah, that was
he's the
embarrassing. That was
He's
so
the president,
pathetic.
whether I like it or not.
That was pathetic.
He's the president.
Yeah,
he's
but you
the
do like
president
it.
elect.
But you do like it.
He's the president. I said whether I like it or not. He's the president elect.
But you do like it.
Okay,
That's what I'm
through,
talking about.
Through democracy. Understand that?
Okay.
Snowflake.
And he's a bad president, and he's a sexist. So if you care about sexism
No, he's not a bad president.
If you
No,
care
he's
about
not.
sexism so much, you should hate Donald Trump. Or wait a second, Liam, could it be that you only pretend to care about sexism when you can use it as an attack against the left, but when the literal president of the United States has over a dozen credible allegations of SA and has been caught on camera and tape multiple times admitting to SA, that doesn't even register in your brain? But if Harry Sisson does something which I think is
wait a
bad,
minute.
then that is like the end of the world?
So wait a minute. So everyone is entitled to due process. Illegal immigrants, everyone except for Donald Trump.
And according to you, Harry Sisson.
No, I'm not. He got it. Harry Sisson got his due process. He basically
wait,
got
what
kicked
crime-
off.
what
He
crime-
got kicked off of. He got kicked off of TikTok.
Wait, what
okay? He
crime was
ran
Harry
with his
Sisson
tail
accused
between?
of?
He ran with his tail between his
What
legs.
crime was he accused of?
Being a creep on TikTok.
I agree that he was being kind of a fuckboy, but is that criminal? I think it's bad.
Did
what
I
he
ever
did.
say? Did I ever say he was a criminal?
You said he got due process.
He did get his due process, and they kicked him off of TikTok.
He got
They
due
chased him off
process
of
under the
TikTok.
law. Which law was he violating?
The law of TikTok. If you're a
The
creep,
law-
they're gonna sort. They're gonna
The law
sort
of
you out.
TikTok.
Yes, the
Liam,
law of
the
TikTok.
reason I bring this up is because you only mentioned that Harry Sisson thing because it's an attack against the left. But when Donald Trump does something that's actually really bad and criminal, you don't give a fuck. So that's why I question why you even bring up the Harry Sisson thing.
My whole point that triggered me was this couple that sits in your chat that are grown ass fucking adults that moderate.
Shout out to
for
them.
Somebody,
Thank you guys for watching.
Somebody like, not for you. I mean, they can sit in your chat all they want. But when you're spending years moderating for a young wannabe egotist, it's a bad look on an adult.
Wannabe
It's
ego.
a
So
bad
you
look.
think he wishes he was an egotist, but he isn't.
What's that?
You want to talk about
No,
something
he-
of substance?
I tried with you. I wanted to talk to you about Nigeria, and I wanted to talk to you about the attack on the Christians, and you just kind of deflected to,
No,
what you
I
about
talked about
Palestine?
Trump's-
wait, what are you about Palestine?
Yeah, because you.
and Putin and
Okay, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
Dude, that's exactly what you did.
You brought up the example
Pivot,
of Trump.
boy.
You brought up the example of Trump striking people in Nigeria to stand up for Christians, and you were making that point to specifically substantiate your broader argument that Donald Trump and America are now respected more on the world stage. And I directly addressed your macro level argument about Trump actually being respected. And I said, no, all indications show that, yeah, Trump is blowing people up left, right, and center. This is true. But he's not actually respected on the world stage. He's seen as a joke and an easy mark who's easy to manipulate. That's what he's seen as. And I can't hear you if you're talking. You left TikTok, I think. What are the chances that I'm going to ask Liam to defend Trump's negotiations on the world stage and he's not going to do it? He's going to say, you're pivoting, liberal, you're pivoting. If you guys are enjoying the live, by the way, make sure you double tap the screen, follow up above. I am also live right now on YouTube, and if you want to contribute to a radical left lunatic like myself, Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo are on the link tree in my bio. Let's place bets. When Liam pops back in the chat, don't forget, his macro level argument is that under the leadership of Donald Trump, America is more respected on the world stage. And Liam just, my hands are here. Liam just left the live. He just left the live. So, I don't know why he just left the live. Thank you for the cowboy hat, melatonin. He left. My hands were here. I did not touch my computer. Liam just left. we can talk. I would, in fact, love to talk about allegedly Trump making America more respected on the world stage. Okay, that's interesting. Let's look at some of his quote-unquote success. So Trump assured us that he is bringing in, and I quote, maybe Liam. Oh, Liam's back. Let's place our bets, guys. I'm going to ask him to defend the idea that Trump is actually respected on the world stage by bringing up his quote-unquote negotiations with other countries. What do we think he's going to say? He's either going to say Harry Sisson or you're pivoting or Jesus of Nazareth. Let's place our bets. What's he going to say? Or is he going to engage on substance and catch us all off guard, which will be a pleasant surprise? Let's see.
Why'd you kick me, bro?
I did not kick you. You literally left.
The entire chat saw what you did, okay?
I literally showed my hands as you left.
Dude, you're such a weak debater. You're weak sauce. You're lucky I've never. You're lucky you and I have never debated. You're lucky you and I have never debated at Jubilee. I would dog walk.
Have you ever been to Jubilee?
Dog walk. Yeah, because you would never be able to mute me. You'd never be able to talk over me. They would be throwing so many red flags up for you. You'd be sitting down so quick.
You have to admit, as far as muting goes, I'm one of the people to mute people the least. Like I'm like one of, I do it if you're being obnoxious as fuck, but I'm really not the muter. Like that's not. I'm gonna ask.
No,
you,
I would say that you're a little better at it, but when you start getting cornered, yes, you love to.
When
mute,
you start going to Yap City, then I have to take a quick pit stop and actually check what you're saying. So you were making the argument that you were making the argument that under Donald Trump's leadership, America is more respected and more feared on the world stage. We would expect that would carry over to his negotiations with other countries on trade deals. So do you think that's been a success thus far? Because if what you're saying is true, that Donald Trump is respected and feared, then those negotiations should be a huge success, right?
Oh, yes. You've seen a success in tariffs. We've seen a success with Japan through AI.
Japan. I'm glad you brought up Japan. Because Trump claimed Japan gave us a bunch of money, but all of it was loans that we're taking from Japan. And
it was investments. You're lying now.
Loans.
It was investments. Okay, stop it. No. Loans are not money? What is a loan?
A loan is what it means. You borrow money from someone.
What
and
is
pay
a
them back
loan?
with
Tell
interest.
us. What's the definition of a loan?
Lending someone money and then charging them interest on the principal.
Okay, yeah, it's a money transaction. Okay.
A money transaction. So now we've gone.
Keep going.
First we had trade deals, then we had investments. Now we're down to money transactions, guys. Trump is doing money transactions, whatever the fuck that is.
We have had the red carpet rolled out in so many different countries for the president-elect. I'll tell you that right now.
You're right, and
yes,
he's gotten the shiniest trinkets. This is true.
Oh, shiniest fucking planes that are worth millions and millions of dollars.
The crown from South Korea, the FIFA Peace Prize, the Apple plaque, the Swiss gold bar, and the watch. He gets shiny trinkets, and he thinks those are his concessions. People.
This is not respect.
No,
it's always been this way.
It's called glazing.
Dude. No, it's not.
It's called glazing. Respect would be they actually make a trade deal with us that is good for America. Like. Did you see when Trump claimed that the EU gave him $600 billion?
So wait a minute. So to Adam, a gesture of good, yes, a gesture of good faith.
Okay.
Is giving a gift. Okay. You give a gift.
It could also be flattery. And glazing.
Then you bring your debate to the table. Okay, through business. And listen, the United States wants to win every time. The United States wants to win every time. We have not been winning in the world of trade. You have to admit to that. Come on.
We've been doing
Have
pretty
we been
well
winning or losing?
We've been doing pretty well.
No, we have not, dude. In the automobile industry, we have been losing 1,000%. So stop it.
Why is that?
Ever since since they shut
I'm so glad you said
they
that.
shut Detroit down, dude.
Hold on.
Okay.
Let's get
we are
specific.
Importers of automobiles
You're
and not
correct.
exporters.
You're correct. Now let's get into why that's the case.
Thank you.
Why is China eating our lunch on producing cars, Liam?
Because of the price that it costs to build cars, because of the price of labor to build, just everything in general.
You're missing the key ingredient, which is that China has massive industrial policy in terms of renewable energy. And we tried to compete with that with this thing called the Inflation Reduction Act, which I'm sure you hate.
No, that's not true. Okay.
You like the Inflation Reduction Act?
And no, listen, in this
The
country,
reason Chinese electric cars are so good and so cheap and they can sell them on global markets for below break even is because China has massive public sector investment into renewable energy. They have achieved massive economies of scale as it pertains to solar panels, electric cars, to the point that we have had to put basically a full tariff on Chinese electric cars.
Exactly.
If,
Wait, stop
if they
right
came
there.
in here, they would shit on us because we don't have proper
Stop
industrial
right
policy.
there. Adam is right, ladies and gentlemen. He's right. Due to Donald Trump's tariffs, his first presidency, Biden, shut up. I'm in the middle of speaking, snowflake. Donald Trump put tariffs on Sea Country, okay? Then Biden went, oh my gosh, we're never going to be able to compete in the electric vehicle industry, especially if I don't put tariffs on these vehicles, okay? And that was a good thing by Biden. That was that was a good thing by Biden.
That was
okay?
one
but that
part
was
of a
under the
two-pronged
leadership
approach.
That was under the
You're so
leadership of
close.
Donald Trump.
You're
Stop
so
it.
close, Liam. Trump does blanket tariffs. Biden did a targeted tariff, but what did he pair that targeted tariff with? In terms of industrial policy, it wasn't just tariffing Chinese EVs. What did he do about American EVs? Do you remember? Well, Trump's trying to destroy that now.
He incentivized for sure.
He
He
subsidized their creation. He wanted to expand charging stations. Now, why would Trump destroy
But wait a minute,
that?
stop right
China
there.
does-
We're having a dialogue.
China does that
We're having
really
a
well.
dialogue. Our infrastructure is not ready, even through
Which is why we need public investment and industrial policy to make our infrastructure ready.
But wait a minute. You're a dumbass. Stop talking over me, bro.
Go ahead, Liam. You're so close.
That's what tariffs do. They incentivize the American people to build back the industries in the industrial industry. Yes, it is true.
Wrong.
You absolute
Wrong.
rotten piece of mistletoe.
Wrong. You know why it's wrong, Liam? I'm going to ask you a question.
God, you need to be deported.
You to where? Michigan, where I was born? I'm going to ask you a question, Liam. I'm going to ask you a question. When we look at like electric, just things made in America, I'm assuming you want more stuff to be made in America. We probably agree on that, right?
Yeah, for sure. Put the American people to work.
When it comes to things that are made in America, what percentage of materials that are used in that construction do you think come from imports?
Probably too much. Yeah, especially metal.
It's
I
around
know
a
that
third. It's around a third.
I know that aluminum. You know, we put tariffs on aluminum.
Overall,
coming to
it's
the United
around a
States.
third of materials that are used in domestic production are tariffed. So when you raise the cost of materials that are used to make stuff in America, what does that do to American industry?
What it does is it it affects the industry for
How
sure,
so?
dude. It's like it could be very, very problematic. 100%. I get that because it costs too much to build things. Okay, but wait a minute. There's a bigger picture going on here. Okay,
We agree.
so there's a lot that plays into this. This is governmental. Okay, it's how much minimum wage is. Okay, how much people are getting back in taxes, how much we're paying in taxes, housing, all this stuff plays into what does it cost for the American people to make a living.
Sure.
Okay,
Let's talk about
are we able to build back the United States? Okay, make America great, so to speak. And that's why I think that make America great thing is you're like, when was America ever great? America was great when we were producing pickup trucks and automobiles out of
I
Flint,
think we should
Michigan.
produce more in
Do
America.
you know where Michigan is? You're pretty close to there, right?
I live in it. Yes, I've always lived in it.
Okay, so do you remember shutting Detroit down? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
The automobile industry?
Yeah.
That's when America was great, when Chevrolet was pumping vehicle after vehicle after
you
vehicle.
agree we should
and we were
manufacture
selling
more
them
in
on the
America.
world stage. Wait a
So you
minute,
agree.
you snowflake.
You agree. Right?
So
We
wait
should
a minute.
Produce more in America, yes?
But Americans got lazy. Okay.
That's not what happened. But I'm going to ask you again. Do you agree on the premise we should produce more in America? Have a more robust industrial sector?
I do, yes.
How? How do we do that without industrial policy? That's how China does it.
I told you how we do that. We incentivize the American people to get back to work, to build factories, to
Industrial
open factories
policy.
back up.
Yes, with industrial policy. Like the Chips and Science Act, like the Inflation Reduction Act, like the Bipartisan Infrastructure Bill, perhaps.
But yeah, but I think that there needs to be more like executive orders for instant action. You're talking about policies that are going to pay
Executive orders
dividends.
can be overturned by the next
Stop
guy to
it. Wait
come
a
in.
second.
They can be overturned.
Biden's policies were not going. They're literally like 10 years out.
Literally.
Bro. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the problem here, and I don't think that through Trump, it's instantaneous. He goes, you know what? Fuck it. We don't need a policy.
You're
I know this is
touching
gonna
on
be
something that's not a great look. You're saying that Trump circumvents Congress and the courts and acts unilaterally like an authoritarian, which is true.
100%. Yes, and I'm all for it.
You're
yes.
for Trump being an authoritarian and ignoring the other two branches of government.
Yes, in some ways, absolutely yes.
Okay, why do you hate the American Constitution so much?
Do you think it was authoritarian that he said, I don't need a policy, I need an executive
Hold on,
order
why
to
do you
shut
hate
the
the American
to shut the border
Constitution so
down?
much?
Stop it. You asked a question about authoritarianism.
Yes, and
it
I'm
wasn't
asking now a follow-up
authoritarian.
question to your
It
answer.
wasn't authoritarian when he
Why
shut
do
the
you-
border down instantly.
Why do you hate the American Constitution so much?
Oh, good. Oh my God! Shut up, dude.
Why do you
what
hate
are you
it so
doing?
much? Why do you? I'm just asking. I'm curious. Why do you hate it
I
so much?
don't.
You do.
I don't. But
You just admitted it.
I want instant gratification.
So you hate checks and balances
I'm
and like separation
impatient.
of powers
I don't want to
and
wait.
federal.
I
Okay.
don't want to wait.
So you.
I don't
think-
want to wait for Congress to fight over a bill that's not going to.
You don't want to wait for democratic
people, okay?
consensus through a political process that is outlined in the Constitution. You're against separation of powers. Why do you hate the Constitution?
I don't hate the
It seems like
Constitution.
you want
I
to
think,
erase. You want to
I
erase
think-
Article
I
1.
think- Wait,
Guys,
I'm
he wants to.
answering
He
your
wants to
question.
erase Article 1 and he wants to erase Article 3.
What is it, man? What is it? What is it? When you say, "Why do I hate the Constitution?" That's a question, right?
Yes.
Can I answer it?
Please.
I don't hate the Constitution in its entirety. However, I do like amendments to our Constitution, like birthright citizenship. I think that should be amended. Okay? So, yes, you think that this, leave the slaves in slavery because we don't need amendments to our Constitution is a great thing. I believe that the amendments should happen
Liam, when did
if
I say
they're
I'm
for
against
the American
constitutional
people
amendments?
and our direction as, conservative.
Uh-huh. Liam, when did
people,
I say I'm
okay?
against constitutional amendments? When did I say that?
You didn't, but I got there first, so W from me.
You got where first?
To the truth.
The truth is what? That I hate constitutional amendments?
The truth is it's in the power of the American people's hand.
Liam,
the ones
what
that
is the
elect,
foundation
the
of the
ones that
Constitution?
elect the ones that elect the leaders
What is the foundation of the Constitution?
for the people by the people?
What is the foundation of the Constitution?
What's your point?
Separation of powers?
Separation of
That's
church and
that was
state.
kind of the whole point of the Constitution, is not having one person with king-like power. And it seems like you're saying, okay, I guess, Lib, but unless you have a dictator, things are too slow.
No. Wait a minute. No. You made a good point. So you could have a dictator that could, like, let's say it's Donald Trump, and let's say that he goes, you know what? I'm going to throw out an executive order and no more birthright citizenship in this country. Who could turn that down? Who could
strike
deem
it
that
down?
as not Yeah, who could strike that down? Who could say that's not
If
constitutional?
it's a class action lawsuit, then any federal court, and if it's not a class action, then the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. So we do have checks and
not only-
balances, right?
Yeah,
we do.
and you seem to
Stop
have an issue
conflating, dude.
with them.
Stop conflating.
You said
so
you have
we
an issue,
do,
but you don't like
we
them.
do have a process.
But you don't like
no,
the
no,
process.
No. We do have a process.
You said
in this
you don't
country.
like the process, though. You said the
No, I
process
didn't. I
slows
never
him
said.
down.
I said the process is perfect.
You said the process
That
slows
doesn't
him
mean
down.
that does not mean that the Constitution should not be tested.
Liam, you said that the process slows him down.
Adam,
and
you
want
can't
him to
do
act
this. Adam, you can't.
unilaterally.
Adam, you cannot do this with me, okay?
Liam.
Listen, I started out with you. You had 160 people.
Come on,
here.
pal.
We're at almost 350.
Liam, you
I'm
are right.
platforming you.
You are right. People will flock from around the world to watch Liam get dog walked. It's almost like a rite of passage at this point. Everyone wants to see Liam get dog walked. Every live
Can I
you
get
join,
some serious
every
snowflakes
live
in
you
the chat?
join, every live you join, the whole world gathers around like, oh wow, Liam's about to get embarrassed. Let's pay attention. So I will say, Liam, you do bring a lot
I
to the
need some
table.
baby bottles in the chat for this guy.
You do bring a lot to the table in terms of embarrassing yourself and entertainment value, not so much in terms of substance. So I'm going to ask you again, do you think Trump should act unilaterally, even if Congress and the courts say no?
Absolutely, yes.
You hate the fundamental building block of our Constitution, which is separation.
That does
of
not
powers.
mean. Wait a minute. That does not mean that he's
gotta
going
send you
to
to
succeed.
CCOT.
That does not mean that he's going to succeed, right?
Why is that relevant?
Because there's checks and balances here. There's a process.
Your Honor,
Okay,
I know, Your Honor, I know he's been charged.
Even the president elect,
guys,
cannot. Okay,
Liam, I'm going to
he
give
cannot
you
be an absolute
a career
dictator like you think he is. Donald
I'm going to give
Trump
you a career
is not
suggestion.
king, bro.
Liam, I'm going to give you a career suggestion. You should be a criminal defense lawyer, and then when someone is charged with like attempted murder, you can say, "Okay, Your Honor, but did he actually murder them? His attempt failed, Your Honor." Try that.
What?
Try that in a court. You're saying, "Oh, Trump tried to do authoritarian stuff, but some of it didn't work. Therefore, it doesn't matter." Really? That's the argument we're going with now?
What are you even saying?
You don't track?
Are you lost in the sauce right now?
Seems like you are. Liam, do you not track what I just said? I can explain it much slower if you'd like. I think the chat probably
Have you?
understands.
What have you? Are you like high on like juice boxes right now or
Oh,
something?
yeah. Capri Sun, High C, Elephant.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Welch's, Kool-Aid, the whole 9 yards. I'm going to ask you
Dude,
again.
Donald Trump is so far the best candidate to run this country at
I
this
have
point.
a really important question for you, Liam. Let's say that tomorrow Donald Trump says that and let's say this is true, right? Let's say Donald Trump says, "I have come up with the perfect tax policy and the perfect spending policy."
He already did. It's called the Big Beautiful
Just let me
Bill.
finish, right? And let's say he was actually right about that. Let's even I would agree. Okay, wow, perfect tax policy and perfect spending policy. And then Donald Trump says, "I don't want to wait though for Congress to vote on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the IRS, hey, just enforce the tax policy I want. And then when the money comes in, I'm just going to tell the Treasury, ignore the congressional appropriations, just spend the money how I want." Would you be in favor of that?
No, because that would never happen.
No. I'm not asking if it would happen. If it could happen, would you be in favor of it?
I'm not in favor of stupid hypotheticals from juice box kids. Okay,
Easy
all right.
question, Liam. Just answer it.
Listen, I said
If
no. I would
Trump-
not be.
You'd oppose it.
Yeah, because it's not. It's
Even though
it's
it's
nothing
good
that would ever
policy,
happen. It
even
would
though it's
never
good
happen.
policy, even though it's good policy, and the checks and balances are slowing him down, you agree that actually checks and balances are important. Then this is a different Liam I'm talking to now.
I mean, I think. Listen, check this out. I
Yeah.
think that they are. I think that they are good. Now, when you see, if you don't have 60%, if you don't have 60% of the Senate, okay, and you have the Democrats going, we want to shut the government down. I think that it hurts the
Republicans
American
wanted to
people.
shut the government down.
No, they did not.
They did.
They wanted a clean. They had a clean CR.
No, they didn't. It wasn't clean. It
Yes,
was
they
partisan.
did.
It was a partisan CR.
Absolutely clean.
It was a partisan CR.
Okay? It was bipartisan. It was an annual CR that was going to go
Liam.
through. No, stop it. This is not even up
I
for
hate
debate,
to be,
dude.
stroking my chinny chin chin right now, but I'm wondering which political party was the one that refused to negotiate during the shutdown?
That was Chuck Schumer was the one that was not willing to bend. He said it himself.
That's a really interesting sleight of hand. I said negotiate, not bend.
That was not a sleight
So
of
you-
hand.
you
That
are
was a
correct.
rock solid hand.
Liam is correct.
You tried to give me a
Liam
hand
is
job,
correct.
okay, and I gave you the truth.
Liam, keep your fantasies for later. I'm going to point out what Liam just said here because it's actually true. Liam actually said something correct. The Republicans did not negotiate with the Democrats. They just wanted the Democrats to bend.
They didn't
as
need
Liam
to.
said.
It was a clean CR.
Well, Liam, how come Democrats, when Biden
Do you
was
know
in
what
charge,
a CR is? Do you know what a CR
continuing
is?
resolution. Liam, I'm going to ask you again.
Wait. Say it again. Slow it down. Slow it down. What
Liam,
does CR stand
Liam,
for?
are
What?
you aware?
No, I'm not going to
Liam,
move from this.
are-
What does CR stand for?
Continuing resolution to fund the government.
So that continuing means it was already there, right? Is that what
It would
okay,
be to
tell me the
continue.
Tell me the definition of
Continue
continue.
keeping the government open.
Tell me the definition of continue.
To keep something going?
Did you hear that, chat? This is the dog walking. This is where the dog walking starts, okay? It all starts
True.
from the top.
True. You are about to get
Okay,
dog walked.
Yes, the dog walking
Liam,
for sure. Okay?
When Biden came in.
So if I'm dog
when
walking, you need to stop
came in-
talking. Okay?
When Biden came in 2021, do you agree that Democrats had a trifecta? They had like the Senate. The House,
Now
and
he's
the Senate.
running from the continued resolution, okay?
Liam,
chat?
it all makes sense.
No, you're not going to get away
it
from
all makes
this.
sense in 1 second.
no,
it's
no.
actually directly tied to the CR. If you just give me one
No,
second,
no,
Liam.
stop.
Liam,
Stop. No,
Liam,
stop. You're
just
running.
answer
You're
the
running.
question. Just answer
No,
the
I'm not going to
question.
stop. No, I'm not right. You're running.
Did Democrats have a trifecta when they came in?
There it is, people. There's the mute. There it was.
Liam, answer the question.
This is a W for me. This is an absolute W. I don't even know what I need to go from here.
Liam,
this
saying-
is what would happen on Jubilee, chat.
You are
Your
saying-
hero just got walked in front of
He's
you.
frantic. He can't answer a simple question. Liam is claiming that because Republicans had a trifecta, they don't need to negotiate with Democrats. Then I'm asking Liam, Democrats.
Your chat is so
Democrats had
triggered
a
by me
trifecta.
right now.
Democrats had a trifecta. Why'd they negotiate with Republicans then?
I'm going to bend. What about Biden? What about Biden? I'm going to act like a regular Trump supporter so you can win and actually get the W.
Liam.
What about Biden, Adam?
Liam, I believe in you that you're able to
What
answer
about
this question.
Biden, Adam? Come on, I'm going to give you the W. Let's do some whataboutisms like you do. What
Liam.
about Biden?
Liam, I know you're scared. I think you know the point I want to make, so now you're going to interrupt me. Is that what's happening?
No, I just wanted to ask you what the CR, because
Liam.
you agreed it was a CR, a continued
yes. CRs
resolution.
are not all
okay?
the same. Not all CRs are the same thing. I don't know
A
if you're aware of this.
continued resolution that should have been, that was bipartisan. And Chuck Schumer, as the leader, okay, said no. We are not doing that because
I'm not going to
we
let
do
you
not
run from
agree.
this
Hey,
point.
I'm in the middle
I'm not
of
going to let you
cooking.
run.
Yeah, you're right. So Chuck Schumer, as the snowflake he is, said, we are not passing this CR without our shit added to it. And that is the stuff that we wanted in the big, beautiful bill that you didn't allow us to
know
pass.
who else did
because that one was bipartisan.
You know who else did
okay?
that?
Look at him, ladies and gentlemen. He's
He's
stumped.
not going to let me. He's scared.
He is stumped.
He's scared. He's going to filibuster. He knows what I'm about to say.
Oh, good job. Good job, Adam.
As I was saying, Democrats had a trifecta in 2021, but they still negotiated with Republicans, and they made concessions on defense spending and social spending, even though, according to Liam's logic, if you have a trifecta, you don't need to negotiate. You just have to stand there like this and wait for them to bend. That's not normal. That's never how it works. It didn't work like that under Biden, under Obama. Even if you have the majority in the House and Senate, even if you have the presidency, you still have to negotiate and make concessions, as Democrats did when they had the trifecta. And as you yourself admitted, Republicans did not negotiate when they came in. That is not normal. That is deviating from the norm. And that proves kind of what I'm saying, which is that they caused the shutdown. So I'd love for you to respond to that, Liam. He's not going to, though.
This is so great that your chat. I mean, if you were an honest, great debater, you would say, you know what, chat? Liam, honestly, he did a great job, and he did corner me, and I tried to get out of that. It was really hard for me to do. Okay,
Liam,
that would be you. No, that would
really
be you telling the truth.
overestimate your skill.
No, stop it, dude. Listen, okay, I absolutely cornered you. You did a good dodge. I will give you a good. You tried to get out of it, but you did not.
The argument. It's the same argument on the CR and the government shutdown.
You just have to know what words mean, and that's how it works, ladies and gentlemen.
Did anyone hear Liam answer the question yet?
Anything else you want to talk about? You were walked on that subject. Okay, let's move past.
Let's just go over
okay,
Liam's own argument. Let me steel man Liam's argument. He's claiming that
No, we're
Republicans-
moving on. I don't want to go back in. This
really
is a
wanna
W
run.
from me.
You
I
really
want
wanna
no.
run.
We're going to something else.
If it's such
Okay.
a W for you, why are you so scared to talk about it?
I don't want to go back into. We already figured out.
Why don't you
want
wanna
to
go back into it,
Democrats
Liam?
shut down the government
How?
and hurt the American people.
What did Democrats
by not
do?
passing the clean continued resolution? We're done with it.
Why didn't they negotiate
We are
on the
done.
CR? Why didn't they
Okay?
negotiate? Why didn't Republicans negotiate?
They didn't need to negotiate. It was a clean CR.
Why did they not need to negotiate?
Because it was a continued resolution. It was a clean CR that they did not add anything to, you absolute
They
rotten
cut
piece
stuff.
of mistletoe.
They cut
okay?
stuff. They cut stuff.
Oh fuck, dude!
It was a partisan CR. I'm gonna ask
They
you
did.
again.
They did
why-
not cut any. Wait a
why
minute.
did Democrats
They cut.
negotiate? when
They did
had
not
power.
cut it. Oh my gosh. The Democrats, their package they wanted added to that had nothing to do with any cuts that were done from the Republican Party. Stop lying and conflating.
I'm going to ask you again, Liam. Are you aware
You're
that
gonna-
Democrats...
you're
when
gonna
they
ask
had a
me
direct-
again.
Yes, because it seems like you're missing the point here. Democrats negotiated with Republicans despite having a majority in the House and Senate and having the presidency. When the shoe was
They
on
did
the...
not negotiate.
They did. In 2021,
Negotiating is saying
Biden, under Biden, they did negotiate, and they made concessions on social spending and military spending. Did Republicans negotiate?
Can I ask
and
you? Wait,
make
wait,
any
wait, no, no.
concessions?
I'm going to concede if you can answer this question. So this is where we should be able to understand this. Their extra that they wanted to add to the CR, okay,
The
it should have
Democrats?
been passed. Yes, that should have been negotiated under the big beautiful bill. Why did the big beautiful bill pass without this funding that the Democrats wanted?
It was a,
Why
it
did
was
it
a
go-
reconciliation bill.
Why
They
did
didn't
it
need
go
them.
through?
They didn't need Democrats. That was a reconciliation bill. What are you talking about?
What?
Republicans don't negotiate on no one negotiates on reconciliation bills. You only need 51 for those. What are you talking about?
But why did they not still bring? Why did wait a minute? Why did they? Hang on, that's
the
fine.
reason they
Why
need
did-
Democrats for
hang
the
on,
CR.
I'm asking you a
the
question.
reason-
Why did they not
the
bring?
reason? Let me finish, Liam. The reason the majority party still needs the opposition party for CRs and not for reconciliation bills is that reconciliation bills don't go through a filibuster. Everything else does. So
Okay, I
obviously,
understand that.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, my point is, why was it even if they didn't need it? Why was it not brought to the table under the big beautiful bill? And why was it not at least presented?
Ask Republicans why were Democrats not brought to the table on the big beautiful bill? Why the fuck would they bring Democrats to the table on the big beautiful bill? Why would they do that? They don't need Democrats.
It's still a bill.
This is true. I can't dispute it was indeed a bill.
So Chuck Schumer spoke on it. The only thing that Chuck Schumer at that point said that was he did not like the name of it as the big beautiful bill. He actually pushed back and said, I want it to be called something else. So they called it the Act. Is that true or not? Under Chuck
No,
Schumer's
I don't really
direction,
care what it's called.
Listen to me. This is how dumb you are, honestly.
Listen to me,
Respectfully.
Adam, please. But I don't want to listen to you.
This is how dumb your hero is, chat. He didn't even understand that the big beautiful bill is called the Act because the only thing that Chuck Schumer pushed
don't
back
give a
on
fuck
was
what
the
it's called.
fucking name of the bill.
I
He did
don't
not want
care
to
what
add
it's
anything
called, Liam.
to help out the most needed, the marginalized. Okay,
The least
you
important
literally
thing
don't
about
know
a
what
bill.
you're talking about, Adam.
The least important thing about a bill is what it's called. I don't know why you're talking about.
I
the
can't
name
do
of
this
the
with
bill.
you, dude.
I know you
You're not
can't.
equipped.
I know
you're
you
not
can't.
equipped to debate with me.
I
You're
know
not
you
equipped.
can't, Liam.
I know you are, but what am I?
Trisha,
This is what
thank
you
you
sound
for
like.
the $10. Liam's been hitting the adult bevies. Liam's been hitting the adult bevies too hard tonight.
Dude,
how does
I don't
it feel,
drink, man.
How does it feel to be neither feared nor respected, Liam? And can we get some W's in the chat for Trisha while Liam answers her question? How does it feel to not be respected or feared?
Can I get some thank yous as well? I do have a Cash App that came through from Marissa. Marissa, thank you for coming in here. She says, I'm 22. I've gotten into politics. I've seen Adam debate a few times. He filibusters a lot. He's an absolute snowflake. He's probably 5'2", and it's obvious that he voted because he doesn't know what a real woman
Bro's
is.
making
for the
up
Democratic
donations
Party.
now.
That was a $25 on the
And it
Cash
said
App.
all of that?
Appreciate it. Thank you, Marissa. Yes, it did.
You want to show us?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to give
because it's
people's
not real?
personal. I don't want to give people's personal information.
Right.
No,
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Also, I got Jenny says, Jenny, can you ask Adam? This is for $10. Jenny says, ask Adam what a real woman is. Adam, do you want to answer that? Jenny says, what is a real woman?
I have no idea, Liam. What is a woman? Oh my goodness. It's the feared MAGA talking point. Whatever will I say to this? The only thing MAGA ever asks at this point, which notice how you went from the CR to what is a woman and Liam's pretending like he's getting donations.
No, it's not from me.
He's
It's from the
pretending.
$10 Cash App from
Uh-huh.
Jenny. Jenny wants to know if you know what a real woman is.
Cover up Jenny's
She
name
also says
and
if
just
he
show us
doesn't
the
know what a real
transaction.
woman is, hang on. Jenny also says if he doesn't know what a real woman is, was his mom a social construct?
Yeah, Liam, she was. She was a figure in my imagination. Liam, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you want to show us proof of these donations? You can cover up the name.
I can't expose my people.
No,
'Cause
cover
a
up their name just with one finger
I'm a
and show us.
No, I'm a conservative, and I don't kiss and tell.
Yeah, because you have nothing to tell because there's no kisses happening and no one's sending you money. So yeah, there's nothing to tell. True.
I'm not kissing you if that's what you're asking. Stop it, okay?
Trust me, Liam. No, nor myself nor anyone is asking to kiss you. Do not worry.
Listen, I'm
That is
not
a question
into men.
that will
I'm
never come your
definitely
way.
not into
That is a
I'm
question
not
that
into
will
men,
never
and
come
I'm
your way.
definitely not into liberal men, okay?
You're into conservative men more?
I said I'm not into men and definitely not into liberal.
I just heard you say you're
Okay.
not into liberal men, which is fine if you're into conservative men, but I mean, it's cool.
I know, because I mean this is a marginalized community. We wouldn't want to, say anything bad, about anything. Everybody needs a trophy in these
It
conversations.
is true that gay conservatives are a marginalized community. They wait for like CPAC and AmFest to get on Grindr, and other than that, they just shit on gay people in their public life. But that's a different conversation. Liam, why are you not addressing the point on the CR?
I already addressed that. Dude.
When
You
the
got
shoe
dog
was
walk
on the
it.
other foot, Democrats negotiated, Republicans did not.
There was no negotiation that needed to take place on a CR. That's a continued resolution.
When the shoe
you
was
understand
on
that?
the
You
other
absolute
foot,
rotten piece of
Democrats
mistletoe.
negotiated and made concessions, and Republicans did not do the same.
I have a question for you. Is it true that you were nursed until you were 10?
Where'd you hear that, Liam? And why'd you just... Again, my hands are here. He's going to say I kicked him. He just ran away. He just ran for his life. I guess bye. His wife left him? I did not know that if that's the case.
Hey, good evening.
Hey, how old are you?
I'm 38.
And do you support Trump?
I do.
Okay. Do you see the 4 prompts on the screen right now?
Yes, I'd like to talk about the mass deportations.
Sure, cool. You can... Floor is yours.
Well, can I just ask you real quick, like, how do you mean they're inhumane and wasteful?
I think they're inhumane because they're punishing people who are doing everything the right way. I think that they are dangerous because they are diverting law enforcement resources away from fighting trafficking and terrorism and to instead go after those people who are following the rules. And I think they're wasteful because each deportation costs around $17,000. And then not only are you spending $17,000 per deportation, but then you're also losing on around $9,000 annually of tax revenue, which would actually be higher if they were actually legalized as well.
So you said the $17,000 per illegal, right?
Per deportation.
So if you take each illegal that is in here and you deport them, the cost would actually save. It would take us a year and a half to recoup that cost because we spend about $186 billion a year spending money on illegals in our country.
Yeah, but you have to do dynamic scoring when you talk about deportations. That's going to have ancillary effects on like labor markets and aggregate demand, which is going to hurt the economy and reduce tax revenue, right? So you have estimates of upwards of 6 million job losses because of deportations. Prices are going to, in some cases, go up, in some cases go down, depending on the labor market. You're going to see overall the labor market is going to weaken, which is what we've been seeing during these deportations. I mean, we can go piece by piece here if you want. I don't want to.
Well, so back in like 100 years ago in the 20s, 30s, we used to do work visas for the Mexicans to come up here and work seasonal for the farm jobs that you're talking about.
Yeah, and we stopped from like the 70s, I think, or the 80s, yeah.
I'm not exactly sure on the date, but I would be in agreement for that. You give people visas, you come up here and do the jobs that obviously people up here don't want to do, and then that is not illegal immigration, though. That's not people taking jobs away from other people, like construction jobs, and trucking jobs, and all these other jobs.
I have a quick question for you. Is it your
Yes, go ahead.
understanding that overall, like when undocumented people come into the country, that job opportunities go down for native-born Americans?
Yes, I mean they're taking jobs because they're cheap labor, so they're gonna get jobs that we're not gonna get because they're cheaper.
If we were to legalize them, though, they'd be the same labor as everyone else, right? They have to be paid at least minimum wage.
Well, I don't believe.
So
in a
I
blanket.
think we agree. I'm against exploitation of anyone for under minimum wage. We have workplace safety requirements, like contract requirements, pay requirements. Everyone who's working in the U.S. should be getting paid at least minimum wage. So I think one way to change that is to actually legalize them.
Okay, so we might be able to come together here, right? I could agree with that. I don't want people coming into this country and working illegally, right? Because they're getting exploited.
Yes.
Correct.
I'd like to legalize
So
them.
there's ways to do it, and also I'm also open for the idea of having people that have been here for 20, 30 years that, because past administrations have just let them stay here without repercussions, correct?
It depends on
And
who
it's
they
just kind
is.
of, I'm talking about past, past presidents.
No, I mean, like,
or
who are they letting stay? Because oftentimes when I speak to people on this issue, they use the word illegal or like illegal immigrant, and they're referring to like 7 different groups of people, half of whom are not even really considered illegal. Whether it's like people seeking asylum, for example, they're labeled by Trump as like illegals or not illegals. There's
Well, let's
gotaways,
not
there's
talk about
visa
asylum.
overstays. I mean,
No, let's just talk about people that came here illegally. We
Gotaways
could
and visa
separate the
overstays.
asylum seekers. Yes.
Okay.
Even visa overstay. We could include that, but asylum seekers is totally different,
Sure.
right?
I just want to clarify real quick. Part of the reason I say these mass deportations are dangerous and inhumane is because they're deporting legal asylum seekers as well. And I think you're agreeing with me. We shouldn't be deporting legal asylum seekers.
I mean, I don't agree with that because the problem is we've had millions of people coming here during the Joe Biden administration claiming asylum, and they were just said, okay, here you go. We give you a place to stay, give you food to eat, and your court date is like 6 years from now.
Right, and the reason
When
their
they don't
court
even
date
have,
is 6
like,
years
valid
from
claims
now
of
is
asylum.
because we don't have enough immigration judges, and Biden tried to push bipartisan legislation that would have reformed that situation, but then Trump called Senate Republicans and said, do not vote for this bill. If you do, then how am I going to run on immigration this election? So Trump
Okay,
actually
do you believe
sabotaged
in
it.
do you believe in a cap of asylum seekers that we should take in per year?
Yeah, probably.
So yes, I agree with that too. I mean, there's people maybe we should help out, but when you're talking about millions of people were taken into this country, low skilled labor workers that don't, they're not assimilated with our
Just
culture
real
either.
quick, I think we have to draw a distinction between people that come here to work versus people that are genuinely like seeking asylum or refuge in the United States. I have like less expectations of like, are you contributing perfectly if someone's like genuinely escaping persecution from their government or like a local criminal gang versus someone who comes here to just work. Do you agree with that distinction?
Yeah. Yes, I'll understand that. I'll engage with that. So do you believe someone should be able to seek asylum just to escape poverty from their country?
If them being in poverty means they're like more subject to like criminality or oppression from the government, that could be the case. Sure.
I don't agree with that. So I agree with like war-torn countries. I actually, my personal belief is we shouldn't even be taking anybody in. We should be taking care of our own citizens.
I think we can do both at the same time. And I actually think bringing people in takes care of our own citizens, right? It's better for the economy.
How is it better for the economy when we have to pay for them?
When more people come into the country, aggregate demand goes up, and that is going to create jobs and raise wages and increase the real GDP and the real productivity of value in the economy.
But if you look at like the people here illegally now, like they cost us more money than what they make us, right? So like they only pay $50 billion a year in taxes, correct? Like, would you agree with that number?
I mean, if you look at all the studies on this, it's basically an even split between either it's net neutral or it's slightly net positive. There are a couple studies that show it's a net negative, but the breadth of the research on what is the net impact of undocumented people in the United States, it does not show that it's a negative one. At best, at worst, I guess for my case, it's neutral.
Can you tell me what study that would be?
I'm referring to like the entire totality of studies. I can pull multiple ones up if you'd like.
Yeah, please pull one up, please.
Sure.
Because that's not what I've seen. I've seen they're a net negative.
There are studies that say that. I'm talking about all studies overall.
Yeah, so if you could just link me a study that...
Sure. And while I'm looking that up, you want to continue making some arguments so the viewership doesn't fall off?
About immigration?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Because I actually, here's the thing. I actually explained mechanistically how they're good for the economy by saying they increase aggregate demand. Can you explain mechanistically, like what would it be about someone coming here undocumented that would be like a net drain on society?
Well, because they're taking resources. So like here's what a lot of people on your side disagree with this, but when people come in here illegally and they're working under the table, a lot of them do not pay taxes. I know some of them do. But what they can do is they could then get TIN numbers. They could have children here too, and their children become citizens, and they could get benefits for their children. They could get benefits through the TIN numbers or benefits through fake Social Security
What is
numbers.
your understanding of how many undocumented people are receiving like federal benefits? Because I know on a state level that's possible, but it's illegal for them to receive federal benefits.
But so like what I was saying, they will, it is illegal, but they do it. They work around the system by getting their fake TIN numbers. Or
how
stealing Social
prevalent do you
Security
think this
numbers.
is? Because we have estimates. It's like in the single digit percentage points of undocumented people abusing like federal. I guess what are you talking about? Like federal welfare money or what?
It could be food stamps, it could be housing, it could be medical is a
Okay,
big one.
I
and
pulled up
medical,
a few studies. So first of all, this is what I was saying earlier. The overall literature and studies show mixed results on the net fiscal impact of undocumented immigrants, with the outcome largely depending on the level of government analyzed, federal versus state. So there's studies that show it's positive, neutral, and negative. Then I specifically asked, what do most studies show? Most literature and studies, including recent 2024 and 2025 reports.
Time out. Can I ask you something real quick?
Yes.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Is that an AI overview?
I'm asking AI to pull up specific studies.
Okay, I just want I don't want an AI overview. I just want a
No,
specific
but I
study.
can reference the specific studies AI overviews pulling
Yes,
up,
yes,
right? So like
okay,
the
okay, that's
CBO,
fine.
for example. I know there's like the AIC as well. There, and I can read this specifically. Most literature and studies, including recent 2024 and 2025 reports, show a consistent consensus that the net fiscal impact of undocumented immigrants is positive at the federal level, but generally negative at the state and local levels, which is what I was just saying, that undocumented people, they can only really qualify for what you'd consider like welfare on state and local levels. On the federal level, they are undoubtedly a net positive. They pay into our entitlement programs with ITIN numbers, but they cannot take out of those entitlement programs. And to the extent that they're negative on like a state and local level, that would be fully ameliorated by legalizing them.
No, but you just made a point that they're a negative on state and local,
But positive on
taxes, right?
federal.
But when you live in certain areas, like it's gonna.
And I mean, that's not even including that when people receive government services, it's not like you're setting that money on fire, right? So if someone comes here and they have undocumented children and their undocumented children are going to a public school that is funded by like local taxes and maybe some state and federal taxes, that is actually good for America. That's not them exploiting our resources. They are using public goods to make themselves more educated, more productive, and like a more functioning member of society. So like even when they do come here and use things that are provided by the government, that's like a good thing. What does assimilation mean to you? But like American culture is multiculturalism in many ways. What? Like all of the biggest artists in terms of music, like Drake, Kendrick, I'm thinking Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift, Sabrina Carpenter, Ed Sheeran. This is not like Johann Sebastian Bach or fucking like Shakespeare. I mean, this is American culture that is the result of multiculturalism and pluralism and diversity. I mean, literally, one of the biggest rappers right now is a fucking Scouser who's engaging in a style of music that was popularized by African Americans. Like, the entire purpose of American culture is a melting pot. Okay. By what metric would you say they're not adjusting to our culture? Would you be in favor of offering people free English classes who come here? Because one thing that I'm in favor of is if someone comes to America, let's offer them free English classes. Why don't we just teach them when they come here? I wouldn't expect everyone to be fluent in English if they're coming from a different country. I don't think that should preclude them from coming. Those are other countries. This is America. I mean, it's the best country on earth, right? It's supposed to be, at least. America is a very unique country in terms of being multicultural and pluralistic, right? I mean, we stand out as like, Reagan said this, right? Like, you can't go to Japan and become Japanese. You can't go to Italy and become Italian, but you can come to America and become American because America is not a race or a language. It's like, it's an idea. Yes. And that culture is shaped by immigrants as well, like very, very heavily shaped by immigrants. No, but there's Americans that have different values than we do. That's the entire point. We live in a pluralistic, multicultural society where people disagree. But here's my issue. Like, a lot of the values that people would bring up to say, oh, we shouldn't have, for example, Muslim immigration, a lot of those same values are held by, like, evangelical Christians who support Republicans in America, right? I know, I didn't say you did. I'm just giving an example. Like, what values are you referring to then? But here's the thing, right? It's like, I agree freedom of speech is important, but like the literal president of the United States has now been adjudicated multiple times to be violating freedom of speech. So it's like, I don't know how seriously I can take a deportation agenda that says, okay, we have to prioritize freedom of speech while the literal president infringes on it. Is that even American values anymore? Mahmoud Khalil? Mahmoud Khalil? He protested against Israel, and he was put in handcuffs. Not charged with any crime, not even accused of a crime, and a Ronald Reagan-appointed conservative judge, ruled that this person being detained, along with all the other students who were detained for protesting Israel, this is a purposeful and full-throated violation of the First Amendment, and the judge even said the Trump administration is purposefully doing this to scare people out of protesting Israel and suppress their free speech. Number one, he wasn't. Number two, even if he was, that's still legally protected speech. If you're calling for violence, yeah, but green card holders have a First Amendment. Okay. Okay. Does that mean if someone tweets, I support Hamas, they should be like excised from the country? That doesn't stand up to any free speech test though. Like what if okay, for example, the Oath Keepers, the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys are also violent, and many Trump supporters say we love those people. Should they also face consequences for supporting a group like the Oath Keepers or the Proud Boys? No, I'm trying to demonstrate why your logic does not hold up to scrutiny in other situations. Okay, I'm just saying it's a violent group. It's a violent group. Well, certain members of the Proud Boys were there on January 6th, and they were convicted of seditious conspiracy and assaulting a police officer, and then Donald Trump pardoned them and called them hostages and patriots. So. That's not dirt though, but okay, continue. They don't cross a red line for you, though? Do you support things like law and order and rule of law? Sure. Which is Kamala Harris. By far. And if your wife, or I don't know if your sister ever wants to chime in, she can as well. I know she was feeding you talking points earlier. Okay. That's fine. That's totally fine. Okay. Okay, that's the deep state pulling the strings behind the scenes. That's fine. I heard the fruit salad melting pot thing from her, but yeah. That's fine. That's fine. I was just opening up the floor to her if she wanted to join. If she doesn't, that's fine. She doesn't have to. I was just asking. Okay. So I just want to be clear. Do you think that Donald Trump was the lesser of two evils between him and Kamala Harris? Not true. Biden shut down the border in July of 2024. The reason Biden did it so late is because Trump kept sabotaging the actual legislation. So then he said, okay, now I have to do executive action. Yeah, but executive orders like Trump did are not durable. The next guy to come in just gets rid of it. The actual way to make substantive change to how the system works is legislation. Well, we don't have to shut down the border. We need to have a proper system at the border. If someone comes to a port of entry, they get to claim asylum. Well, that's the law right now. It's like the letter of the law. Is if you want to claim asylum, you come to a U.S. port of entry at the southern border and you pass a credible fear interview. Yeah, but you didn't ask me what that cap should be. I think the cap should be contingent on like how many people can we just physically handle in terms of infrastructure, but it should be as high as possible. They come in, first they come to a port of entry, they meet an officer there, they have to do a credible fear interview. If they pass the credible fear interview, then they get scheduled for an immigration court date, and then they're going to go see an immigration judge, and the judge is going to decide, am I giving a deportation order or do they get to stay? 3 million cases, yeah. Well, would you want them on the streets? Sure. I agree. This is just how it works, right? When someone is in detention waiting a court date, you house them in a jail or some other living quarters, yeah. What relation does that have? Why can't we just fund a place for them to stay while they're waiting for their court case? How much do you think this costs? Which is a drop in the bucket for the U.S. federal budget. We spend trillions on like entitlements and infrastructure, which is actually the American people benefit from that, right? The infrastructure bill under Biden was $1 trillion, and the whole time people are saying, why is he more concerned with spending money on Ukraine and illegals? Which is just not true, right? Same point. It wasn't, but okay. Yes. It's embarrassing. No, American infrastructure is embarrassing. We should be the best in the world, and we have shitty roads everywhere. I mean, it takes time to build stuff. I can tell you one of the freeways that I constantly drive near my house is a big, beautiful sign that says this road was paved by the bipartisan infrastructure bill. It's one of the best roads anywhere near me. I live in the Midwest. Okay. I agree. But that's what Democrats want to do, bro. Republicans hate this stuff. Okay. But you agree more with the Republicans on average, you think? They were pro-choice in the 90s. Sure, I'm just saying, like, okay, you say you agree with Republicans more on immigration. What is your understanding of the immigration platform of the Democratic Party? I mean, like, currently, right? Because we know they were ready to vote for legislation. What is all these people? What does that even mean? I said the number should be set based on what our infrastructure can handle. Like, do we have space? That's like what the limit should be, is like, No, we did under Biden, and we still do under Trump. Again, but you can look it up. Biden shut down the border in summer of 2024. Well, by the way, Trump also did it a few months before the election in 2020, but I didn't hear anyone complaining about that. But if you even go to Biden, for example, the only reason he did it through executive action is because Trump sabotaged the legislative process. So his hand was forced. Probably, but again, these deportation numbers sometimes are people just being turned around at the border, so maybe, yeah. The issue I have with Trump's deportations is not how many people are being deported, it's who's being deported and how they're being deported. That's what's changed. Prior to Donald Trump, ICE had a specific requirement to prioritize public safety threats. Under Donald Trump and Stephen Miller, that has been erased in favor of a quota of 3,000 detentions per day. And when you set a quota for arrests, the way ICE does that is not by going after the most dangerous criminals, it's by going after the lowest hanging fruit, which is why they're now ambushing people at immigration courts and using people's tax returns to find them. But he lied. Well, would you at least agree we should prioritize criminals when it comes to deportations? No, they literally stopped doing that. That used to be the practice, they literally stopped doing that. And the big beautiful bill literally cut funding for the FBI. These people complain so much about they want to defund the police. Currently, they are reassigning thousands of federal agents from the ATF, the US Marshals, the DEA, and the FBI, people who are in the midst of investigating drug trafficking, child trafficking, and terrorism. They have been reassigned to instead show up to immigration courthouses and detain people who are trying to come in the right way. That makes America less safe. That's why I say dangerous. When you re-divert law enforcement resources that are meant to keep us safe to instead just hit a quota system for Stephen Miller, that makes America less safe. Vast majority are not criminals, yeah. Which is why we have immigration courts, right? Well, if you actually request a credible fear interview, you are guaranteed one. And then if you pass that, you get put into Section 240 court hearings. Yes. And there are many, many people. I mean, there's one guy, I'm just going to give you one example here to show you how twisted this immigration policy is, who came to a U.S. port of entry, scheduled his appointment, filled out all the paperwork, said, I would like to seek asylum, wanted to schedule a court date, has zero criminal history, not even a parking ticket. And do you know what happened to him? He was sent to CCOT, a slave labor camp in El Salvador, where he was tortured and sexually abused and harassed. I don't remember his name. This was in the recent 60 Minutes special. After you're done, go look up the 60 Minutes special on CCOT, which the Trump administration tried to shut down and censor. It aired in Canada and it leaked, so I recommend watching it because it's a very bad look for the Trump administration. Well, Barry Weiss did it because of like the Trump administration's response to it, right? She said, until they give a response to this, we are not going to let it have a green light. And this comes right after Trump. The Trump administration has strong-armed media companies and said, basically, if you want us to approve your mergers, you better be nice to Trump. Right. They did tell the truth. They literally interviewed people that work at the prison, people that were sent there, and like all the officers involved. It was clearly very good reporting. Biased? I think broadly speaking, mainstream media, especially like TV media, is biased in favor of Trump, and that's an issue. I agree. I think they should be way tougher on Trump because right now he gets away with a lot of shit that no one else would get away with. No, they were properly tough on Biden, and they are not even 1/10 as tough on Trump, even though Trump is doing stuff that's 10 times worse. I wish the media was as tough on Trump as they were on Biden. You can laugh, you can pretend like we didn't have wall-to-wall coverage of Biden's cognitive decline after that debate performance for like the next 5 months on CNN, NBC, ABC, everywhere. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is falling asleep in meetings and he can't even say words properly and no one wants to talk about it. Hold on, I agree. I just said the media was appropriately critical of Biden, but they are not appropriately critical of Trump. They give Trump a pass on stuff that Biden never would have gotten a pass on. Like, for example, the fact that Trump has fallen asleep in multiple meetings and at certain times cannot remember how to speak. He was angry at Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, and he said, and I quote, "We have a dead head Fed hair." When he went to meet Vladimir Putin, he could not even walk in a straight line on the carpet. When he was asked, "Sir, why did you get an MRI?" he said, "I don't know why I got an MRI." Of course it doesn't mean anything to you because it seems like you have double standards. Yeah, it seems like you have double standards. If Biden did this stuff, I feel like you guys would care a lot more. In the middle of a meeting, a cabinet meeting that's televised, he's like this and he falls asleep. That doesn't matter? Dude, every time Biden fell asleep, it's all I saw on Twitter. And just so we're clear, any honest person will say Biden had bad cognitive decline. He should not have run for re-election. But Trump's cognitive decline is obviously way worse because at least Joe Biden had stuff in his brain to forget. There was something there that left him. Trump was stupid to begin with, and now he's also cognitively declining. So it's like so much worse with Trump. It's true. Here's the thing. I think we can agree on a lot, but I think you also have a weird double standard for Trump. Go ahead. There's levels to it. And there's not a single full sentence in that 1 hour. Here's the difference, right? Here's the difference. Donald Trump is confident in his cognitive decline, and Joe Biden was hesitant, right? So Biden, he'd be talking, he'd forget what he was going to say and look off into the distance. When Trump forgets what he's saying, he doubles down and just starts talking louder and more and just spews random shit out of his mouth. It makes him seem like he's more put together, but it's nonsense coming out of him. He never says anything intelligent. Would you agree he's also like uniquely stupid? He's only smart in marketing. That's like his one skill is marketing. Is there no red line that Trump could cross where you'd say, okay, now it's time to vote for Kamala Harris? So a attempted coup was not the red line. Calling for the destruction of the Constitution was not a red line. Multiple indictments for serious crimes is not a red line. Then what is the red line? Which is? He attempted a coup. He was indicted for it. Why was he not convicted? Why was he not convicted? He supported the rioting. During the riot, when people had already broken into the Capitol building, do you know who Kevin McCarthy is? He was a former Republican leader of the House. Kevin McCarthy was in hiding in the Capitol building trying to get away from rioters. He's on the phone with Donald Trump saying, hey, call these people off, tell them to go home. You know what Trump said to him? I'm quoting, well, Kevin, I guess these people are a lot more upset about the election than you are. That sounds like some mafia, mob boss, criminal mastermind shit, not someone who is opposing the violence. And if you read anything that actually happened on January 6th, Ivanka and all of his own family and staff were saying, dude, please tell them to go home. It took him 3 hours to do that. He said, okay, be peaceful, like whatever. 3 hours to say, go home. And before that, what is the first thing that Trump did when he was told the Capitol grounds were breached? The very first thing that Donald Trump did when his staff came and told him, sir, people have breached the Capitol grounds. He tweeted, Mike Pence lacked the courage to do the right thing. Let's be honest here. What does that all indicate to us? That he was like, oh no, violence, I hate the violence. If Trump never claimed the election was stolen, would January 6th have happened? I've not seen any evidence of that. Is it going to be the Ray Epps guy or something? This has all been so debunked a million times. It's like boring at this point. And it's the same thing where Trump literally tweeted, where Trump literally tweeted recently as well that like on January 6th, the Biden FBI sent like 247 plainclothes FBI agents into the crowd. First of all, it was not Biden's FBI on January fucking 6th. Second of all, the FBI agents that showed up to January 6th, they came afterwards to investigate stuff like the pipe bomb and all the death threats from the Trump supporters. So yes, federal informants and agents are going to go to the scene of a crime to do investigations. But if this was something so bad that it happened, how come a year into Trump's second term, he has not produced a single indictment on this? Because that would be criminal. What you're alleging is criminality. Where are the indictments? Wouldn't they be there if there was evidence? Do you think Trump would not have indicted them by now if there was evidence of that? Is he the type to wait to go after someone? Okay, so there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Okay. You mean 2016? Or 2024? Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead. But does that mean you shouldn't care about January 6th, which again was an attempted coup? But if someone tries to overturn an election and like destroy the Constitution, that's like a certain red line where it's like if the roles were reversed, for example, let's say, because I'm not a right winger, let's say we have like Mitt Romney versus Barack Obama, but let's say Barack Obama did January 6th. I would vote for Mitt Romney in that situation because when someone overtly tries to destroy our Constitution and overturn the results of an election in a fucking coup, that's a little bit too far of a bridge for me to cross. That's not you? You don't care about like the Constitution and like democracy? Yeah. Yeah. It's not this one thing. You're downplaying it. Because you're misrepresenting my argument. Mitt Romney? Yeah, and you're saying, oh, if a Democrat does this one thing, it's not one thing. It's like trying to destroy the system of the United States government and our constitutional order. That's not like peanuts. Like that's like pretty serious stuff. What about the coup attempt? What about the fake elector scheme? What about the fake elector scheme? That was the whole point of the riot, was to delay the certification of the electoral votes, which they did successfully delay it. And what about all the fake electors? No, and 350 ballots would not have flipped the election either which way, so. Are you claiming that there were 350,000 fake votes cast in Georgia in 2020? I can almost promise you that's not true. Yeah. Mostly from the right, but yeah. Okay, so I pulled it up, and the first thing I find is fact check. Fulton County's 315,000 unsigned early votes are not proof of electoral fraud. Yahoo News? I can read the fact check to you if you'd like. And is the claim there that those are all fake ballots from the Democrats to make Trump lose? Is it possible that people might make mistakes when putting their signature on a form? Like that's just a normal explanation? Okay. So because someone did the signature part of their ballot wrong, that means they actually meant to vote for Trump, but they accidentally voted for Biden? Or like, what even is the claim here? Well, yeah, obviously, because everyone was like locked in the house in 2020. Voter turnout was higher because of the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, yeah. So when you make it easier to vote, more people vote. That is my argument. Right. So voter more people are paying attention to politics when they don't have outside life stuff happening, and when it's much easier to vote by mail, more people will vote because you made it easier to vote. Yeah. Okay. But that's such a, like, here's the thing. I've met a lot of people like you, and I don't mean this as an insult, who say, like, oh, I'm a moderate, I'm an independent, I'm a free thinker, and, like, I like things about both parties, but then any criticism of Trump is, like, downplayed so much. Like, yeah, I guess when he tried to do I guess when he tried to do a coup of the country and destroy the Constitution, I guess that wasn't super great, but, like, no one's perfect. It's, like, such a downplaying. You can swear. That's okay, you can swear. Yeah. True. True. Yes, because that was being paired with the fake elector scheme, which was an attempted coup for which Donald Trump was indicted, because he criminally engaged in falsifying false slates of electors, and he wanted to send them to Mike Pence and tell Mike Pence to certify them instead of Biden's electoral votes. And the whole purpose of them storming the Capitol was to delay the certification of the electoral vote and intimidate the senators into instead pressuring Mike Pence to certify Donald Trump as the winner. It was a direct attempt to keep Trump in power, which is an attempted self-coup. Pence sabotaged Trump's attempted coup. It could have happened, though. We're lucky it didn't, but it could have. No, but this is like saying, okay, Your Honor, it was attempted murder. He didn't actually kill anyone. It's an attempted coup, which failed, thankfully. Say it. Okay. Okay. Well, do you agree there's something called an attempted coup? Do you think there's something that would be called an attempted coup? But what if it worked? No, there's not really many checks and balances. Trump is proving that in his second term. They don't really exist, but. The worry is that he would have certified Trump, and then it would have ended up in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court would invoke, I think it's called like the political questions doctrine, which is like, we're not going to touch anything with political implications. And then same as happened in 2000, where we're not fully sure whether or not Al Gore got more votes in Florida or not, because the Supreme Court kind of just said, we're just wrapping it up, Bush won, whatever. If they did that again in favor of Trump, with a bunch of Trump appointees, that would be a successful coup. Can I explain why I have an issue with that just real quick? And this is a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's meant to illustrate a point, right? Let's say that you and I were debating, is Mustache Man from Germany a good thing? I'm not saying Trump is as bad as Mustache Man. It's just an example, right? Let's say we're debating, is Mustache Man a bad person? And I keep bringing up the H cost. And you're like, listen, I don't really want to talk about the H cost. I like some of Mustache Man's industrial policy, and he also fought animal cruelty. And then I'm like, why are we not talking about the elephant in the room here? I'm talking about like comparative severity. When there's an elephant in the room, let's not ignore the elephant. But dude, that's like me saying I don't believe this is a water bottle. Like, it gets to a point. Say it again. There's sure.
A water bottle is objectively a water bottle. Like, it holds water. It has a shape that everybody knows is a water bottle. January 6th is subjective because it depends, where, like, what information you learn from it.
If you go to the Wikipedia page for self-coup, it gives you a list of attempted self-coups, and one of them says, United States, President Donald Trump, January 6th. Along with this has happened in Malaysia, South Korea, Turkey, Brazil, Israel, Indonesia, Guatemala, Sudan, Tunisia. Like, self-coups are a thing, right? Where the incumbent loses power and then illegally tries to stay in power. They can fail at that the same way someone can fail at murder, but attempted murder is still a crime, and attempted coup is still bad and not something we should gloss over.
Yeah, but like an attempted coup would be like if Trump used the military and like guarded off the Capitol and was like,
I hate to tell
Mike
you
Pence,
this,
you need to do this.
He did consider launching the military to rerun the 2020 election. Only reason it didn't work is because all his top people were like, hey, we're not doing that. That's fucking unhinged. This time, those adults are not in the room anymore, right? Because he's surrounded by loyalists. And, I mean, you're worried about the military. I mean, I can pull it up for you. Donald Trump has drafted plans to use the military to interfere with our elections. I can pull up the PDF.
Yeah, yes. Can you show me, please?
Yes, absolutely.
I would honestly be interested in to see that.
Do me a favor. I'm going to kick you out. Hop back in the guest request because I can't switch to screen share if you're still in the guest box.
Okay. Gotcha.
Hop back in the guest box, so you can hop right back on. And let's show it on the screen. Hold on. Mac OS properties restart. Okay. And there he is. Here it is. This lays out a strategy where we now call him the Secretary of War, would federalize the National Guard of the swing states. The National Guard would go into polling places. They would seize the voting machines because of alleged fraud. They would take the voting machines to the DNI, who right now would be Tulsi Gabbard, and the DNI in Washington, D.C. is going to analyze those results and tell us who the real winners are. Now, if this was signed in 2026 or 2028, here's what that would be. That would be Pete Hegseth federalizing the National Guard, going into Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Georgia, seizing their voting machines, bringing them back to Washington, D.C., and then Tulsi Gabbard and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, they're going to analyze the voting machines, and they're going to tell us who really won. And now these are all Trump loyalists. Are they even going to do that or just say Trump won, obviously?
Okay, who is that article from?
The article is from Politico, but this executive order is a draft from the Trump administration.
Dude. Hey,
hold on.
I gotta go.
You think
My
this
wife
is
wants to
fake?
spend some time. Yes, I don't believe Politico.
This is an
But,
entire drafted executive order signed President Donald J. Trump.
And listen, what I will do is I'm going to look into it. I'll follow you. I could come back in and talk to you, but my wife wants to spend time with me, so I kind of have to get off.
Okay. I guess this is fake now? The document is here. Apparently, Politico made an entire fake executive order draft from signed Donald Trump. Why would they make that up exactly? What benefit would that be? Because this is pretty detailed. We can go through this. It's pretty detailed and pretty scary. Accordingly, I hereby order. I've done this before. Just to put into perspective how dangerous this is, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to substitute in the names of who this would currently apply to. Okay? Accordingly, I hereby order, effective immediately, the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, shall seize, collect, retain, and analyze all machines, equipment, and electronically stored information and material records referring to voting records and voting machines. Pete Hegseth is going to do that with the National Guard. And I agree, TDS is serious. Trump devotion syndrome all over the chat right now. Within 7 days of commencement of operations, the initial assessment must be provided to the Office of the DNI, and the final assessment must be provided, which is Tulsi Gabbard, no later than 60 days from commencement. The Secretary of War may select by name or by unit federalization of appropriate National Guard support. To put this in plain terms, the president wants the Secretary of War to send soldiers into your polling place and pick up the voting machine and fly it back to Washington, D.C. so that Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard can tell us who really won the election by taking a close look at the machines. Anyone okay with that? And here's the thing. These people who are like really liberal, New York Times, Politico, Reuters, really liberal, going to go to the mainstreams. Just by the way, to everyone who thinks that way, all of your favorite right-wing creators, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, PBD, where do you think these people get their news from? Do you think that they have sources on the ground around the world? In the Middle East, they have reporters on the ground? Or could it be that all of these right-wing commentators read the New York Times, the Washington Post, Politico, ABC, NBC? That's where they get all their news, is like actual reporters who are doing reporting. They get their news from there, they put their political spin on it, and then they say, no, don't go to the first-person source. Today I'm going to read you a story from the New York Times. Please do not go read the New York Times, though, because that's fake. Listen to my recounting of the story. So. Hey, how old are you?
Hello? Hi, I'm 18, born in May of 2007.
And you support Trump?
Some aspects, I would say, yes, but in a lot of cases, no. Policy in some aspects.
So,
like
if you could go back in time, you'd vote for him over Kamala Harris if you had to pick one?
Well, if you must know, I could not have voted during the...
Let's say you could.
I would have voted for nobody.
If someone put a weapon to your head and said you have to pick one? Are you fully neutral?
Almost fully neutral. But I would like to talk about one aspect
Okay.
in particular. So you know how Trump just cut off legal immigration from 19 or 22 countries, third world. They classify as third world.
Okay.
So I am particularly very anti-immigration in one aspect, and one of ways is anti-third world immigration.
So just to clarify, do you mean all immigration or like undocumented?
Undocumented and third world.
Including legal immigration from the third world.
Yes, well, which the UN classifies as like least developed.
Okay, but you're saying even if they legally come here, they should be deported, or?
No, I mean, no. I think they should. I should think we should just not accept them.
What about the ones that are already here?
They're fine.
Okay, continue.
Okay, so the UN classifies like 44 countries as like least developed or third world, as me and you might say.
Okay.
32 in Africa, 8 in Asia, 1 in the Caribbean, and 33 in the Pacific. The reason why I don't support legal immigration from these countries, they don't contribute economically, and in fact, in most cases, they like contribute negatively to the economy.
People from
They
these
don't
countries?
Yes.
They contribute negatively to the American economy?
Yes.
Can you give me evidence for that?
Okay, well, yes. So
I have
if
my
the-
screen share pulled up. I can pull up whatever study you're referring to, and we can read it.
Well, yeah. So not only does this apply to the United States, but this also applies to other areas around the world, right? So there's a study done in the Netherlands, right, talking about native Dutch and how much they contribute economically. First generation Western and first generation
Do you have anything
non-Western.
for the United States?
No, because there was nothing specifically targeting third world.
Sure. Can you just explain to me then, like mechanistically, like how exactly would people coming from these countries make America worse? Like, what would they do that would make America worse specifically?
They would not contribute economically. In fact, they would go on welfare more likely than.
Would they qualify for federal welfare programs?
Well, yes, when they come here, yes.
If they're legal, they would.
Yes, when they're legal, yes.
And
We're
you
not talking
think-
about.
Sure. When is it bad for people to get like social spending and social safety nets? Isn't that good for the country?
If they just immigrated here and they go on welfare, that doesn't help
Well,
us.
welfare is
economically.
one thing, but like for example, let's say someone comes here and they are using the public school system to like educate themselves, and then they become a more productive member of the economy. Like that also could be framed as like they're coming here, they're using our public dollars, but it's like no, public dollars when combined with human beings can result in better outcomes for those human beings in the country as a whole. And if you want to say that we should have a case-by-case immigration system where you judge each person as an individual, that's fine. But judging people from the country they come from seems pretty unfair to me. How about
Well,
you
you
just
can
judge them
make
based
that-
on what they want to do when they come here?
Well, you can make that case, but from these countries, it would seemingly be the majority.
Do you think it's inherent to these countries?
Well, yes, because they come from impoverished countries. It's
Sure,
not their
when
fault.
I say inherent, I mean like they're just born that way, you think?
And born in what way?
When you
Born-
say these third world underdeveloped countries have people that are just going to be a net drain on our economy and our society when they come here, is that something they're born with that, or is it because they are growing up in a country with not as much opportunity, and if they had more opportunity,
Of
they'd be
course,
better?
it's because they're coming from a country with not much opportunity.
Okay, I'm just clarifying you're not like a race realist type of person. That's why I asked.
No.
Okay, so you don't think it's like genetic, right?
No.
Okay, so when we put people in better environments, don't we typically get better results out of them?
Well, yes, they would. Well, here's the thing: you can make. Yeah, I think it's hard to make an argument for better results. I think you could say that they're put into a better environment because even you would have to admit, from a third world country, coming from a third world country, if you came here and lived off like Section 8 housing and food stamps, it would still be better than what's going on in their third world country.
Sure, and then through doing that, they could actually, I'm sure they wouldn't want to remain in that position forever. They could actually climb up the economic ladder, and through the stability given to them from food stamps and Section 8 or whatever, they can eventually hopefully climb out of that hole and become successful. I mean, I don't think anyone who comes here like wants to stay poor and stay on welfare. They probably want to be able to work.
Well, I mean, I would have to ask you: do you have any statistics or like economic statistics that go against that that go with your statement?
I'm sure we can just look up like what percentage of immigrants work a job.
Well, no, we're talking. Well, you want to talk about immigration as a whole, but we're talking about specifically the third world here.
66 to 67% of immigrants in the U.S. are in the labor force.
Okay, I'm actually very glad you brought this up because that statistic actually does help us out a lot. Do you think that the people who are, do you think a first world immigrant who probably already has a job and the money, like to properly or like to immigrate here and like live to get a house, right? And probably already had a good job in their home country. Basically, somebody who's coming here with money is more likely to be a part of that 66 to 67% of immigrants that are contribute to the economy versus the immigrants coming here from the third world that might be in like the non 66 to 67%.
That's not what this shows. I'd guess the remaining percentage is like minors and stuff, or like elderly people, right? Or do you think that there's like a bunch of able-bodied adults who are coming here and not working? I mean, we can read more about this.
Well, here's the thing. Let's look at the
Immigrants
welfare.
constitute roughly 19.2% of the U.S. civilian labor force, and I think you would agree and understand that they don't qualify for like any kind of federal aid. In some states, they can qualify for state aid, but not federal aid at all.
Well, here let's talk about like welfare as a whole, right? So 52%. So out of all people who are on welfare, about 52% are legal. Well, hold on, wait. Among legal immigrants, we estimate that 52% are on welfare, right? Now, I'd have to ask you, who do you think is more likely to be in that statistic? Somebody who from a first world or second world country who maybe has more advantages and can come here and live a better life, or somebody from that third world
You said
group?
52%?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you like, I can give you the source.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah, here, let me open this real quick.
Based on data from the Survey of Income and Program Participation, we find that immigrants consume 21% less welfare and entitlement benefits than native-born Americans on a per capita basis in 2022. Immigrants were 14.3% of the U.S. population and consumed just 11.9% of all means-tested welfare and entitlement benefits in 2022. Non-citizen immigrants, including those lawfully present in the U.S. on various temporary visas, LPRs, and illegal immigrants, consumed 54% less welfare than native-born Americans. Non-citizens were 7.3% of the population and consumed just 3.5% of all welfare. However, naturalized immigrants consumed 17% more welfare than native-born Americans because they are an older population. They consumed 7 times as much Social Security and 4.3 times as much Medicare as non-citizens on a per capita basis. Naturalized immigrants were 7% of the population, consumed 8.4% of the welfare benefits. So it's only really disproportionate with like old people, it seems like. Elderly care, which makes sense. But
So let me ask you, where'd you get your source from?
this is Cato, and Cato is a right-wing think tank.
I got mine actually from the Central of Immigration Studies.
Okay, you want to share that with me? I can look that up as well, and we can compare what data they're talking about here.
Yeah, so here, I give you the title of the article if you want. You can just Google that. Welfare use by immigrants in the U.S. born, and then Center for Immigration Studies.
Okay. 2022 SIPP indicates that 54% of households headed by immigrants, naturalized citizens, legal residents, and legal immigrants use one or more major welfare programs. This compares to 39% of U.S.-born households. So this just directly conflicts with this data. Now, I think one thing we can do is, this is the Center for Immigration Studies. One second.
What you doing there?
I'm comparing the bias of Cato and this.
I would trust Center for Immigration Studies. It's up to you. Go ahead. Right ahead.
Would you trust it more than Cato? Because Cato is like a very well-known right-wing think tank, which is like in favor of all of Trump's tax cuts and stuff. So it's not exactly like a source that's friendly to me. The CIS has been accused of significant bias by a range of sources, including civil rights organizations, fact checkers, and other research institutions. The SPLC has branded them a hate group. Reports published by CIS have been widely criticized and debunked by scholars and think tanks like the Cato Institute and the CBPP for using poor methodology, misrepresenting data, and reaching misleading conclusions. Critics argue that CIS often uses, quote, household level analysis, which is what it just did in that one, to overstate immigrant reliance on welfare by including the U.S.-born children of immigrants in their figures, a methodology experts dispute. That's interesting. So when they talk about households, that is going to include like citizen children, right? So again, I was willing to be wrong on this because, again, I don't really love the Cato Institute. This is a right-wing, kind of like libertarian right-wing think tank, and they are saying this, and they reference specifically survey of income and program participation. So we can look up what that is. That's their data source here. Oh, this is the U.S. Census is where they're getting their data from. And then CIS is using SIPP. What is SIPP? Is this the same thing? It is the same thing. So one of these two sources is lying. I'm going to assume it's the source that's like way more credible, unless you'd like to explain to me an issue with the methodology of Cato that is done better by the CIS.
Well, I think I'd like to get back to like the overall point of like, I still think that it still stands that people who come from wealthier first world and second world countries are less likely to be on welfare than.
Well, broadly speaking, even with American citizens, rich people are less likely to need a need-based help than people who have need. So yeah.
Can you say that again, please?
People who are wealthy are less likely to require need-based financial aid than people who have financial needs that are not met, right? Like poor people will disproportionately need programs that help poor people compared to rich people, obviously.
So you just said the same thing I said.
But it's like you're drawing a weird definition. Like you're saying, can you believe that only poor people are using programs that are meant to help only poor people? Like, yeah, I can believe that actually. Why would a rich person need welfare?
Well, it's because I don't believe that they're going to contribute economically. And if you want, I can give you another source that would somewhat explain this a little bit.
Please, I'm loving the source checking stuff right now. Yeah.
Yeah, source by source.
Mm-hmm.
So, as I said earlier, this doesn't apply to like. This also applies to other areas of the world, right? So the study that they did in the Netherlands is native Dutch reference, first generation total, first
Can we
generation.
stick to the United States because it's like the Dutch and the United States is like not an apples to apples comparison. I don't think that's like analogous.
Well, what they're doing is I think you can, because what they're doing is they're comparing how immigrants from these countries like compare to each other.
Sure, but
how
the
they
issue that
contribute
I have here is that the immigrants that are going to go to United States is going to be different than people that are trying to be Dutch, and it's also like they have a different economy, different sectors of different sizes. Like it's really not comparable. I've pulled up this as well from the AIC, which is like one of the leading think tanks and researchers on immigration. Let's see. 2023 undocumented immigrant households paid $89.8 billion in federal, state, and local taxes and held $299 billion in spending power. In total, immigrant, both legal and undocumented households pay nearly $16.80 in every $100 collected by the federal government in taxes, federal, state, and local governments, right? So around 17% of all the taxes collected by the state, federal, and local governments come from immigrants. That seems like a pretty substantial part of our revenue.
Well, if you want, again, you can make that case if we were talking about immigration as a whole.
I thought you were.
Then again, no, we're talking about just the third world here specifically.
Okay.
So, I mean, listen, I could give you my source about how third world immigrants contribute in other Western societies. You don't have to take it if you don't want to, but I think it would be pretty substantial to our argument because it would show how immigrants from these countries contribute in Western society.
What do you mean Western society?
First world society, if you want to put it simply.
Would those be the same thing?
Fine.
Like, does Western necessitate first world? I'm genuinely asking.
Well,
because I'm getting a few dog whistles from you here, but you did also clarify that you don't believe it's like genetic or racial. So I'm going to take your word on that. But I'm getting a lot of dog whistly stuff from you, which is why I'm asking to clarify your position right now.
dude, I'm not like Postman's best friend and like boys with Nick Fuentes.
I know
Like a
that's why I'm asking you clarifying questions to see what you're really getting at here when you talk about like
Well,
first
yeah,
world
here,
and
I'll hear it
Western
as
and
first world, right? So listen, I'll just repeat. I could show you how these immigrants from the third world contribute economically to a first world country. You don't have to take it if you don't want to, but I think it'd be pretty substantial to our conversation.
I'm just a little bit hesitant after the study you gave me, which just seems to be very methodologically flawed. Immigrants from poorer countries significantly boost U.S. economy by filling essential labor gaps, especially in services, agriculture, and caregiving, starting businesses, increasing innovation. Okay, this is just an AI overview, though. What do we have actually in terms of data? Immigrants work at high rates, which again, would you agree that if someone comes here that's like a working class person, they're probably going to be like working more than someone who comes here that's like super rich? Like working class poorer people actually, in many cases, work way harder than other people.
Well, working harder doesn't also mean contributing more economically.
Well, they're
Like,
contributing
say
to the
if
labor
you-
force, right? Which is like pretty important.
Well, yeah, but you could also make the case that, say, somebody comes here who's an immigrant from from the UK, and they come here and they start a business and they employ 50 new people, and then they contribute more to the labor force. So, you know
That'd be bad.
what?
That would be a bad thing
No, I'm saying that would be a good thing, right?
if an immigrant started a business here.
No, I'm saying what I'm making the case is that you said, so you said that an immigrant from a poor country could come here and add to our labor force, right?
Yeah.
So but then I said, well, you could also make the case that an immigrant could come here from Great Britain, and also make the case that, and they could also come here, open up a business. Say they're like a wealthier member of like another first world country. They could come here, open up a business, and employ 50 new people.
And
Immigrant
in the
or not.
same way, a poor person from a first world country could come here to work in a service job, and a rich person from a third world country could come here and start a business. I'm sure you probably would consider India not first world, but how many entrepreneurs are there who come from either India or Pakistan or China or Japan or South Korea?
Actually, India is not considered third world.
What do you consider it?
The
Second?
UN's list of least developed countries is third world.
Okay, then is India a first world country by your standards, or?
India is probably like either first or second world, right? But I'm not making a case for the first or second world. I'm making a case for the third
The
world.
issue that I have here is these distinctions seem a little bit arbitrary to me, and I'm curious, what is that UN list you're referring to? I want to look it up.
You could just look up UN's list of 44 least developed countries, LDC. If you
Including nations in Africa, Asia, and Oceania, such as Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, Haiti, Myanmar, Nepal, South Sudan, Yemen, and Zambia, among others, facing unique structural challenges to development, though some countries are progressing towards graduation from the list. So if a country graduates from this list, you'd like them to be allowed to come in then? As soon as they
yeah, of
graduate?
course. That means that they're coming from a wealth. That means they're coming from a wealthier area.
Oh no, Matt, nuclear, no. Okay, the issue that I have here is you're assuming that because they come from a country that is like financially less well off, that will mean that the people that are coming are like somehow lower quality people.
Well, I'm not saying that they're lower quality. Well,
Less
define
desirable to be in the country?
Well, that's a little bit focusing on race, which I don't want to do. I'm saying that they're coming here and they're not going to contribute as much economically.
And you
Or
come to
if
that
we're
conclusion based on their country of origin,
I will
not
get-
based
I
on
can
them
tell
as
you
an
how-
individual, which is what we should be doing, is judging people individually.
Well, we could get into that, but I could tell you where I got the conclusion from that they're not contributing
Like,
economically.
here's my question, right? You have these 44 countries. Is it conceivable to you that very smart, hardworking, intelligent people who want to contribute could exist in these countries?
Yes, but I don't think
And
it's
that they might
worth
want
their
to come
time
here?
to go through, like, especially because they're
Wait,
not
say
going
it
to have
again? It's not what?
It's not worth our time to go through it because especially
Why?
they're not going to have as high levels as education and they're not going to come from as wealthy of a country as with as much opportunity. Again, as I said, it's not their fault, right? But I don't think they could come here and contribute economically. Which, you know, I have the source which I was trying to bring up to you earlier. Which, if you want, I could tell to you, but you don't have to accept it.
Sure.
Right. So it was a source from the Netherlands ranking how.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not accepting that. Never mind.
Well,
I need a source on the United States. Just like immigration and economics between countries is like so disparate that you can't do apples to apples comparisons there. It just does not work.
Well, okay, don't
Especially
you think
on specific claims? Maybe on super macro claims you can, but
yeah, well, I mean, if you want to go by like as you said, a super macro claim where it's just like we're looking at it as like a whole, I think this would be a very good source for you to at least to just look at.
Okay.
For me to just tell you. I could give you the source if you'd like to. But do you want me to read it to you at least or no?
go ahead.
Okay, so we have native Dutch, first generation total, first generation Western, and first generation non-Western, right? So native Dutch will reach about 150K. We'll reach about 150 euros by like their peak of their like economic journey, I guess. First generation Western will reach about 90K. First generation non-Western will never even crack negative 100,000.
Why do you think that is?
Well, because they don't come from as wealthy areas of the world with
So you
less
think
opportunity.
that the country you're born in is going to define what you're able to do as a person in life?
It's not me, it's the data that's showing that.
I'm asking what you think.
I don't think as an individual. I just don't think it's. You brought this up earlier. It's like, yes. Do you think that there's people in those countries who have the ability to help us here in the United States?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Maybe there's somebody who's like a really intelligent doctor, right? But maybe
Not
they
just
don't.
a really intelligent doctor. What about someone who's living in abject poverty that is just like inherently a very smart, very quick person, but because there's no educational infrastructure in their home country, they are not using their full potential, so they can come to America and realize their full potential and contribute to our economy.
Well, what I would tell them to do is, if I knew this person, what I would tell them to do is immigrate to a European country
and then come here?
And then come here and then show us your full potential, right? We should only be accepting at least like the top tier of immigrants.
So
right?
as long as they touch feet in Europe, they're cleared to come here right after?
Well, I think you're taking a very specific example of what I said. I said, well, what I said is that that's what I would give that advice to that person is if I knew them, right? But then again, I don't think it's worth
that person. I would want them to come here and have access to good public schools, good infrastructure, good nutrition, so that they can contribute to our country.
Well, yes. Well, here's what I'm about to bring up to you is that, you know, like it's a very large amount of immigrants who come here from these countries. It's hard to estimate. It's hard to say the exact amount, but it's a very large amount of these immigrants that come here from these 44 countries, right? Like I think Nigeria here, let me pull one up. Like Ethiopia is one of them. They contribute 300 to 4,000 immigrants, right? And so I don't think it's worth our time.
Which country did you say?
Ethiopia.
Ethiopia.
Right? That's just one of them. So what I want to say is that, like, I don't think it's worth our time to scroll through each of these immigrants, especially when there's a lot of them.
This is just,
Right.
I pulled up the top countries of origin amongst immigrants in the United States. I'm seeing Mexican, Indian, Chinese, Filipino, Salvadorian, Vietnamese, Cuban, people from the Dominican Republic, Guatemalan, and
Well,
Korean.
I mean, it's just an example. Like, it's just
Right,
an
I'm just
example.
like, Ethiopia is like, first of all, I don't care if anyone's coming from Ethiopia. That's fine if they want to come, but it's not even like a big
I
player
was just giving an
seemingly.
example.
Numerically, it's just like not really there, it seems like.
Well, the point I was trying to say is that we get a lot of these immigrants from third world countries.
Also, dude,
And
like
so
the weekend is of Ethiopian origin. Like, you really want to keep these people out?
Yo, the weekend, bro. Don't mess with my man. The weekend, bro. All right.
It seems like you want to mess with him if he wasn't born here and he was born in
The
Ethiopia. You
weekend's
wouldn't want him to come
The
here.
weekend is an exception. All right. The weekend's an exception.
Okay.
All right. If somebody can come here and they can rap like him, bro, it's an exception.
So on the upper end, there's 360,000 people in the U.S. who were born in Ethiopia.
So what I'm trying to, so the point I was trying to say is that there was a lot of these immigrants, that there are a lot of immigrants coming from these third world countries. All right. And I don't think it's worth our time to look through all the immigrants coming here to look for.
I think it is. I think it's worth our time.
Well, if you'd let me finish, I could maybe explain why a little bit.
Okay.
To look through the probably very few who you're right, there might be a very few who have money, who can come here, contribute economically, maybe open up a business, contribute, and there's probably a lot there that contribute to our labor force, but I don't think it's the majority there because they don't come from a place where they have a lot of education or they have enough money to even come here and like buy a home. You know? So that's why I don't
Wouldn't
think
they
it's
be more productive if they were given structures, like economic structures, social structures that brought out the best in them, gave them community, education, economic opportunity, like physical infrastructure as well?
It would be better for them. It would be better for them.
And then
But,
because
like,
they'd be in America, it's better for America because it's better for them and they're in America. It's not like they're coming here and then going back home.
well, are you just gonna come? You're just gonna say that they're guaranteed to come. That all of them are guaranteed to come here and work. Because I think it's more likely that somebody from one of those countries is more likely to come here and be on welfare. You know, one of the things I mainly disagree. Another thing is that
from okay, continue.
like I'm just saying it's like logically I would say because they're not coming here with a lot of money. They're not gonna come here and like they're more likely to come here and be on welfare, right? And like I know you're very anti-Trump, which I am too.
You're anti-Trump?
One of the things I mainly,
You're anti-Trump?
Yeah. It's a long list there.
Support Kamala Harris or
No,
are you to the right of Trump?
I'm a little bit right.
Of
Like a
Trump?
moderate.
Is Trump
No.
to your right or your left?
Trump is more to my right.
Okay, continue.
I'm a moderate
Because you're
conservative.
sounding a little bit like Stephen Miller, but continue your point.
Dude, I'm not bald, bro. Don't be flaming me like that.
That's not what I meant.
But like one of the main things I disagreed with about Trump is, you know how we have a large immigration here of H-1Bs, right?
Okay.
Like when he promised that there would be like, in a sense, like an immigration moratorium, he goes in and brings in a ton of H-1B visas.
Real quick,
right?
while the Ethiopian diaspora has similar educational attainment as the U.S. population overall and is more likely to be in the labor force, its average household income is substantially lower. Is this not them contributing?
Hold on. I
Similar
just,
educational attainment and more likely to be in the labor force than the average American. And being in the labor force is like how you contribute. Real quick, hold that thought. I gotta let my dog out. 1 second.
Go ahead there, twin.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So, I mean, you're nitpicking at one country here, which I brought up out of 44, by the way. You know,
But do you
that-
think
which
it's
I
fair
just-
to question your point on the other 44 if on this one out of the 44 it seems like they actually work at higher rates than native-born Americans?
If you could find ones for each out of the 44, then yes.
So now you're
But
down to
this-
43, right? Ethiopia is cool now with you?
No, I brought up one and
It
used
says
it as
they're more likely to be in the labor force
than who?
than the U.S. population overall.
Well, yeah, maybe as a percentage,
I can
but
read
still,
verbatim. While the Ethiopian diaspora has similar educational attainment as the U.S. population overall and is more likely to be in the labor force than the U.S. population overall.
So the point I was trying to make, I was just using an example to tell you how many immigrants are coming here to the United States, right? Well, but we're talking still about third world immigration as a whole. So you bringing up one country out of 44
It's a country you
doesn't
had
really
mentioned earlier, which is why I looked it up. I can look up other countries if you'd like.
I mean, hey, we could go here.
And my
I
question
don't-
is, if we go country by, I mean, you're not even conceding on Ethiopia, so what's the point of looking up the other countries if you're not going to change your mind either way?
well, one country. I'm sorry to tell you, but one country does not change my mind.
Sure.
out
So then
of
I'm
the
asking
total
you, would you be in
world.
favor of just banning the other 43 countries, but now Ethiopia gets to come in?
I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to maybe make the case that maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle and say, hey, maybe we could look through each one of these countries and maybe only have an immigration moratorium on the other countries who aren't coming here and contributing as a total.
How about
which-
having an immigration process that is not based on where you come from, but who you are as a person and what you're going to do when you come to the country?
I can't bring myself to look through the probably like hundreds of thousands of other immigrants
Well,
who
lucky
are.
for us, we have immigration courts and like government workers whose job it is to do that. You don't have to look through anything.
You're right. I do not have to do much there. I don't think it is worth our country's time to look through all those immigrants when we can just sort of see how they immigrate here as a total. I don't think it's worth our time to look through each one when it's.
I'm not gonna lie, that was getting a little bit boring. I feel like that started going in circles. And I kept getting Groyper vibes from him, but he claims he's like a moderate, so I guess I'll take his word for that. But it started to feel a little bit like no matter what I could say, he was not really gonna budge on anything. This is let's bear this in mind, guys. Center for Immigration Studies, because I guarantee this is probably MAGA's favorite source. Right. That's a sneaky trick they do, right? Where they are counting U.S. citizen children of immigrants in the numbers for how much welfare do immigrants use, which is like pretty shit methodology. And again, I am no fan of the Cato Institute at all, but even they agree. And while I'm not a fan of them, their methodology is sound from what I can tell, way more than fucking CIS. It's been branded a fucking hate group apparently. We're using hate groups for data now, apparently. No more guest requests. Might be a good place to wrap it up. Might be a good place to call it a night. Any last minute questions, comments, concerns? Good live today. We hit. Well, let's try to hit 90K likes before I leave, okay? Is that too much to ask? Good live today, though. Just double tap the screen. Okay, we hit 90K. That was pretty quick, actually. Thank you everyone for watching. If you're not already following me, you should be up above. Subscribe on YouTube. I was also live on YouTube today. And follow on Twitter. And then if you'd like to contribute, Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo are on the link tree in my bio. And hold on. Let me just quickly make sure I didn't miss anything in the YouTube chat. Okay. So thank you, Susanna, for the $10 super chat on YouTube. I don't see super chats in the moment because super chats are like they don't pop up in my multi-chat thing. Thank you. Can we get some W's for Susanna real quick before everyone hops off? $10 for dealing with Liam. He's an annoying, condescending shit ass who needs to behave like a big boy. True. True. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the conversation and you listening to me. Is this the guy who was just on earlier or is this someone else? I appreciate it regardless, sure. I think I'm going to call it a night. This may be the last live you see of me for a while, unfortunately. I'm about to be traveling with family, and I'm being told I can go live while we're traveling and visiting family, but I don't know what my reception's going to be like, and if my cousins and aunt and uncle are going to want to hear me like screaming at MAGA people like in their basement on my laptop. Maybe they'll be okay with it. But if this is the last you hear from me for a while, I'll be back early January with some pretty big news, at least for me, and it's my audience should know about it. I'm not going to announce it till things are set in stone. I mean, they are set in stone, but till things are finalized. But I'm trying to think. I have one big announcement, which is that, which I'm not going to say right now, and then a couple other things that are like not confirmed yet. So we'll see. And he's controlled. I am controlled. So what? My DNC handler tells me what to do, and they never give me a bad piece of advice. And yeah, if David's about to go live, ag.akara, or as I think Brock likes to call him, AJ. Everyone head over to AJ's live after this, if you're not already following him or watching him. Let me know on the low. Gotta check in with my DNC handler first. Preemptive congrats. Thank you. I've been saying, and again, knock on wood, and, you know, I don't get to decide what happens. The universe has its own way of doing things, but I do have a good feeling about 2026. I really think 2026 is going to be a big year, a good year for us in terms of platform and reach. So stay tuned for that. That'll be fun. 2025's coming to a close. It's kind of crazy. If this is the last you see of me before, is it the podcast? The podcast is a separate thing. That's also, I'm honestly thinking that I'll start the podcast once I move, because I'm planning on moving to Chicago by probably by May. If anyone knows any good brokers in Chicago for apartments, I would appreciate that. If you want to DM, if anyone who watches me happens to be a Chicago broker, please, because I've made like a. Am I like doxing myself if I like show the apartments I've been looking at? Is that like unsafe? Because I don't even know if I'm going to live there or not yet. Like those specific places. It's a meeting with Obama. I wish. Going to Saudi Arabia for the holidays. Holy shit. BlackRock and Vanguard. Hold on. Don't do that. Yeah, I probably shouldn't. The thing is, like, I have like 7 places bookmarked. But then I was looking and I was seeing apparently like brokers in Chicago are free, and they know like about like a lot of listings I wouldn't be finding on fucking apartments.com or like these other building websites. But while I cannot dox myself necessarily, what I could do is just show you guys the floor plan that I'm looking for, kind of, right? That's safe. Because I'm very specifically trying to get either a 2-bedroom or ideally like a 1-bedroom with a den. Because I want to have a separate room for like content and work, which would be the room where I would like record the podcast and stream from, which would be like a separate room than my bedroom. And Liam, my beloved? I don't know if anyone's ever said those words before. I wouldn't show any, but here's the thing, you don't even know what apartment I'd be showing you. You have no clue what I'd be showing you. Maybe I shouldn't though. I feel like, you know what? Let's not risk it. You're right. Well, any last minute questions, comments, or concerns before I hop off? His ex-wife is crazy. Evicted in the first 2 hours? Honestly, yeah. Wherever I move in, my neighbors are going to hate me because they're going to hear me yelling at MAGA all day. What a shame. Don't underestimate the desperation of MAGA chuds. True. Let's not get kirked in 20. If I don't even want to say it. Okay, if I ever got kirked, bro, y'all better not let that slide. Don't do me dirty. Y'all cannot let that slide. I need you guys to rise up peacefully and patriotically like January 6th. Okay. I'm looking at the chat real quick. Am I missing anything? When are you debating Michael Knowles? I don't know. I'm a dumbass, okay? Michael Knowles' team had reached out to me to go on the bar fight show thingy. And my dumbass saw the email like a week late. And by that point, they'd already figured out something else. But 2026, hopefully we can get that going. I'm checking the YouTube chat. See if I missed anything text-wise. Okay, no. Okay. I would fight for you. Thank you, Sweet Pickles. This is why you're the sweetest of all the pickles. I appreciate it. You got it, boss. We'll make an AI song. Yeah, dude, yes. I need We Are Adam Khan on the fucking top 10 Billboard Hot 100 charts if I ever get kirked. But not going to happen. I want everyone to live peacefully and patriotically a long life, guys. We do not condone political violence here, whether it's against the left or the right. The only party that condones political violence in America is the party that condones ICE and sending National Guard into blue states and cities. That is political violence. They condone it. They cheer. We are better than them. We don't cheer for that stuff. So let's continue. Let's hope that no political figures get unalived in 2026. Let's just hope that there's no bullets flying. I think that's not a great thing. Do not want that to happen. Honestly, I probably could ask AI to make a We Are Adam, but no, but that's like foreshadowing my death. That's probably fucked up. I don't want to attract that kind of energy. Never mind. Okay. If there's nothing else left, I think I'm gonna wrap up for today. Han Pacman 2046? I don't know about that. I like David Pacman on some stuff. I was a little disappointed with how he handled the Gaza situation in the 2024 election, but that's a separate topic. I think next year is gonna be worse than this year. Violence. Wow, what a hopeful New Year's message. Oh, wow, we hit 100K. Okay, let's wrap it up. Speak now or forever hold your peace in the chat. If anyone has any quick questions or comments, I can answer those real quick in the chat. If not, I'm going to wrap it up for today, and then you'll either see me maybe at some point in the next few days, or maybe you'll see me next year. Oh, I'm going to be so corny. I'm going to hop on live and be like, I haven't seen you guys since last year. Even though it's like 2 days. Safe travels. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Your wife is going to go on tour and speak at AmFest. I would divorce my wife even after dying myself if she was going to AmFest on my behalf. I would rise from the dead to try to get a divorce. Have you heard of praxis? I feel like I've heard a bunch of leftists use this term. If you need a roommate, let me know. Honestly, I am so looking forward to just living by myself in Chicago and just having my own... I could probably find a roommate. I could do a roommate, but I want to have my own space where I can scream on TikTok Live in the middle of the night, and I'm not waking anyone up except my neighbors who are separated by a wall. Appreciate the offer, though. Have you heard of Praxis? It's an accelerationary private city? It's a city? I didn't know it was a city. Anyways, everyone have a great night. Successful live. We got some you and Chris. True. Let's just make a content house. Liberal hype house. Everyone in the chat right now who lives in Chicago, you're invited. We're going to have Chris there. Anyone who's... I think Adam Mock was also in Chicago. Liberal hype house. Let's do it. We're going to do the fucking renegade dance and shit. I don't know. Get a huge penthouse for all the libs of Chicago to live together. Honestly, kind of base, just screaming at dumb. Yeah. We are Stormy. Huh? Where does Stormy Daniels come from? Hype House, hand me my spray bottle. Nah, you guys are not ready for progressive Hype House. You're not ready. We're gonna have the libs of the world uniting. Hold on, let me check one thing real quick on my end. Okay.